And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for being here tonight. If you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up. If you're on the YouTubes, if you're listening on your favorite audio streaming platform, give me a 5-star rating or whatever you can over there. I most certainly appreciate it. We got a whole lot happening all over the internet, all over mainstream media, television, wherever you are. This Wall Street drama is not stopping. It's just beginning. They done bought billboards in Manhattan. I mean, this is a really serious thing. You got all kind of big monies involved. There's a whole lot going on. Also, Black Lives Matter getting a Nobel Peace Prize. What's going on with that? Like, what is the deal? Talking about the worst possible group to get a prize like that, being BLM, I mean, it's really crazy. Joe Biden signed 42 executive orders, but I thought he said that if you sign a bunch of executive orders and you're trying to govern that way, you're like a dictator. So pot calling the kettle black was really going on with that. There's a whole lot happening. And for one, I like everything that's going on, good or bad, because either way, it's going to be people that learn, people that have their eyes open, and people that see things they did not see for the very first time. But we'll talk about all that and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank y'all again for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. We got a whole lot happening. Oh, I'm going to show that billboard. Never you worry. Don't even worry about it, PS3 Troop. I got you, boss. I got you. So this whole Wall Street drama, like I said, it's not stopping. It's not going anywhere. It's going to continue. All right. The hedge fund guys are mad. You got guys on CNBC screeching, guys on Fox Business screeching, over talking, cussing. It's crazy because the whole thing is the financial industry was not ready for this. They're losing billions of dollars overnight, and they don't really know how to go about it. They didn't anticipate the regular normie with the Robinhood account using it as a weapon against them in a legal sense. You know, so when I was talking about, if I ever said the words, stay in it, don't give up, or fight back, this is what I'm talking about. Using legal means to fight back against them, the establishment, the system, and do a legal thing. This ain't nothing illegal. It's totally legal to go on the online forum and see something that says, hey, I like that stock. That's going to be a good stock. I think it, will benefit me, and going out there and buying it. If that's illegal, then you got to cancel Jim Cramer. You got to cancel anybody on television. You got to cancel Charles Payne or whoever's on television talking about stocks. Nobody can talk about stocks anymore. If what happened on Wall Street bets is illegal, then I can't even say I like Apple or Tesla or Facebook as a stock. Okay, I can't even say that because me saying it is illegal, because that's what happened on Wall Street bets. They were talking about stocks. I like this, I like that, and they went out there and got it. So they don't have any way to control this. All they can do is try to use their assets, meaning Robinhood or TD Ameritrade or whatever, to slow it down so they won't get hurt so badly in the hedge funds and whatnot. That's all they can do. That's the only recourse. They don't have any legal way. You think if what was happening was illegal, the government would have been came in and shut the whole Reddit down. I'm talking about the entire Reddit.com would have been shut down if what was happening is illegal, but it's not. They had temporarily paused Wall Street bets on Reddit, and it came right back. And what you gonna do? Nothing you can do because it's legal. Oh well, this is the game. This is the game that they play. They do all kind of things, all kind of things that they might think. They do things that they say are totally legal that look illegal to us. You could spy on somebody's campaign. They're not even in office. It didn't even do anything. You could spy on their campaign. Apparently you can. And nobody goes to jail. Oh, you can have email in your house that's supposed to be sensitive in government. Yeah, I guess you can because nobody went to jail. Oh, you can hide stuff and lie about stuff from the federal government. I guess you can and nobody go to jail. So if they can do all that, why can't I just buy stocks on my phone? Why not? I'm just a guy buying stocks. Go to my Robinhood account, TD Ameritrade. I type in the symbol and I buy it. That's it. You can't stop it. There's nothing they can't do. It's going to keep on going. 100%. Yep. And personally, like I said before in many videos, I'm not a tax professional, a stockbroker, a stock professional. I'm not a professional in any kind of way, form, or fashion. I'm a regular normie on the internet talking. I don't know anything. Do not follow my advice. This is all entertainment. If you follow anything I say on here and take it as advice, you're losing your entire shirt. But I am going to be long on AMC because AMC is going to come back. AMC was dropping because they shut AMC's down. They shut movie theaters down because of the virus. But come summertime, they're going to be back. Trust and believe. You're going to have movies again. And if you've not been able to go see a movie in person for like a year, you're going to want to go back. And as soon as all the restrictions are lifted, as soon as they think it's been long enough that Biden's been in office and they don't want to hurt Trump anymore, they're going to bring movies back in the big way. And they're going to go straight to the AMC, Regal, all of that. That's what they're going to do. So I'm buying AMC immediately and I'm holding because they're going to come back. Period. That's just what it is. Now, as far as GameStop, I don't know. That might be kind of too volatile for me to get into. That's a little bit too rich in my blood, a little bit too shaky for me. But I'm going to be long on AMC. Facts. Anything that's kind of low right now, I'm gonna be big on. Things like Tesla, I'm gonna be long on Tesla. I already got Tesla as well. I got Tesla and Apple. I'll be long on those. I'm not necessarily a fan of Apple, but I don't really care about my personal feelings about a company when it comes to getting money. Period. I don't care nothing about nothing. I'm all about what's legal and what's right. That's pretty much it. I'm not a fan of Apple because I don't like their walled garden system where you got to get the iPhone and the iPad and I don't like all that. I like being able to have my stuff open source. So I have an iPhone and a Samsung just for business purposes. It's a tax write-off too. I don't really, I could take it or leave it. I had a BlackBerry in 2018. And speaking about BlackBerry, that stock right there is rising. Charles Payne was saying that he bought it last year because of 5G. BlackBerry may not be very popular over here in the States, although I do see a BlackBerry occasionally floating around. Because BlackBerry was a phone. When I was out there doing my business with the flyers, like my BlackBerry was solid as a rock. Back in like 07, 08, when it first was really going, it was BlackBerry Messenger. It was really solid. So I'm not sure if the BBOS would come back, but I think their technology, their security and stuff like that overseas especially, and maybe in the government could still be of use, right? So I'll be long on BlackBerry too. I might not have a lot of shares in BlackBerry, but I definitely would get some. All right. But hey, I got to show that billboard. This whole thing with the stocks is going crazy. You got guys buying billboards. Here's the billboard right here. This is, I think it's on Wall Street. Matter of fact, hold on. You guys in New York might know better than I do. Maybe you could tell where this is, but I know it's in New York. But I don't know exactly where it is. But here it is. And let's go desktop, and there we go. So you see it right there. GME go brrr. That's the money machine right there, and you can see the symbols down here. I guess that's like how it's been rising up. That is hilarious. Okay, big billboard. There was another one too. I got to find that one, but this is just the beginning of this. I'm watching a lot of these guys on CNBC and Fox Business and etc. And they're saying this is only the beginning because they can't stop it. The only way they can stop it is if the government steps in and does something to regulate it. But my question would be, what can they do? What can they really do? They can't get anybody on the online forums for any kind of crime. All they can do is just restrict being able to buy certain stocks. That's all they can do. That's it. And what Robinhood did was crazy. Robinhood, man. I'm gonna tell you what happened with Robinhood and a lot of these other places. It says in Times Square. Okay. Hey, I'm loving it. I am loving it. But what Robinhood happened? What happened with Robinhood is that they did not have enough liquidity, meaning they did not have enough cash to cover the purchases that were happening because they changed something in the clearinghouses. You guys know better than I do. I'm not a stock professional, like I said. I'm not a professional at all. I'm just a guy on the internet reading. Do not take anything here for advice. If you do, your shirt's going to be off. PD Pablo, you know the rest. But anyway, they did not have enough liquidity to be able to cover what was going on with all the surge in the stocks. And I think what happened was they had to put up like 100% of what was being purchased rather than the 2%. And that was a rule change like midway through the game. I mean, how much sense does that make? If you're playing basketball, football, baseball, tennis, whatever you're playing, European soccer, football, European soccer, which is what they call football, but it's soccer to us. If you are playing a game and everything is going one way at a particular point, and then they change the rules of the game midway and things go a different way, I mean, whose fault is that? I think Robinhood just has a PR problem because I think TD Ameritrade did that. Robinhood wasn't the only one that did that as far as pausing the trades or altering it. They weren't the only one that did that. Cash App did it. Everybody did it pretty much. But the problem is that they did not understand how to really respond. The CEO guy, just not very camera ready, not knowing how to talk, just giving see, right now, you can't give the general college, we're committed to our customers. You can't give that. Anybody trying to hear the 1-800 number where you get a recorded message. Here at Robinhood, we committed to our customers. We want to have the best service. Anybody trying to hear that right now? We're talking about money on the line, billions of dollars on the line. You got to come with some real information. Now, the guy from Webull, the head honcho over there, came with some real facts, talking about, the 100% versus the 2% and not having the money. Basically, he's saying we did not have the money to do what was happening. The money was a problem, not enough cash on hand. And they were being blocked by some of their brokerages. That's all that really was going on. And then when Robinhood got some capital infused into them, then they were able to resume what they were doing as far as allowing GameStop and other stocks to be bought and sold because they could handle it at that point. But, they did not do a very good job of explaining themselves from the very beginning. So now they're seen as a villain. And then the branding is terrible. Robinhood. What was Robinhood's whole thing? You steal from the rich or quote unquote take from the rich and give to the poor. But the reality of Robinhood is this. Since the trades are free on Robinhood, like when you go in there and you buy a stock, it's free. You got to pay for the stock, of course, but you don't have to pay to buy the stock. You understand what I'm saying? It's like having the Costco card and having to pay for the Costco card versus not having the Costco card at all, never paying for it and going in there and buying it. That's what Robinhood is. You don't need a Costco card. Just go in there and buy whatever you want for free. All you do is pay for the actual stock, but not the ability to buy the stock. So it's free trades, but the way that Robinhood makes money is from selling your transaction to one of these hedge funds. And then they make money off of that. And then they do whatever they do. And at the end of the dance, they perform to get their money, to have all sides get their money, you get your stock. But when the hedge funds are having problems and when there's other things going on, Robinhood doesn't have the money, then now what are they going to do? They're relying upon the big money guys to fund your free purchase. So they have to help the rich guys keep their money because if they don't, then that means they can't help you because you're not paying for your trade. So they got a bad business model, really, honestly. It's a good business model, but it's not good when things fall apart. Because they've had the same problem before, actually, but not to this extreme. It'd be certain times where they're kind of down and quote unquote down for maintenance. Are they truly down for maintenance or are they down because they're having liquidity problems? Actual financial problems to where they cannot afford to operate at a particular point in time. Maybe that's what's going on. That's kind of what it seems like. And I think that their model got exposed, unfortunately, because I think they were pretty good before all this happened. They weren't the best place. They're good for beginners and they gave you free stocks. It's good to get into stock, to buying stocks. But the level of which they were trying to do this and how many users they have, it just the model was just not prepared. Okay, they're not really all the way there yet. They need to be acquired probably by Google or somebody. They got a space ready for ads. What they got to do right now is become like a social media network with ads. They're going to have to, because they got to be to pay for these trades some kind of way. And if they don't pay for the trades, this is going to happen again. If there's a big volume and it's a hot stock, they're not going to be able to handle it because they don't have the cash. They don't have the money. That's just the problem. So, yeah, it's really unfortunate, but that's just the name of the game. I think in the future, they're going to need to have a more professional person going on there and speaking about what's happening with the company rather than having the CEO or the founder, whoever that was, the young guy, going on there, giving you the old college try, talking about, oh, well, we're committed to our users. We don't want to hear that. So we want to hear some real information. A lot of people that are buying stocks are not even, they're not even trying to hear that. They're already intelligent enough to understand, speaking above a third grade level. I'm an adult. We're all adults here buying stocks. We're all getting money. You got guys putting 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 in stocks on Robinhood. If we're doing that, we know how to understand, big words and complex things. So don't play us like fools. Just tell us real information. The Webull guy did that. And a funny thing about Webull, that's actually a Chinese company, or a Chinese guy started it in 2017 as a Chinese company, but they have a Manhattan headquarters. Not really sure where the actual headquarters is. Is it in Beijing, Shanghai? I don't know, but I digress. That's a fun fact. So yeah, the hedge fund guys, I mean, hey, they're losing their shirt, but it is what it is, because remember back in 2008 during the whole the crash, you're too big to fail, you're getting all kind of bailouts and whatnot. A lot of guys, I mean, they fell off really hard. Just regular people in the streets. It wasn't a bailout for them. I don't remember a bailout for Main Street. That was the whole thing back then, right? You're getting a bailout for Wall Street, not for Main Street. So they were able to be helped back then during that particular time, whereas regular person, maybe not so much. Now, at that time, I was in the street doing my flyer stuff. So the streets were pretty much jumping. It's the same way it is right now. Like now, you having this financial problems. The people that were like middle class and having to work are struggling probably the most. The streets are fine for the most part if you got any kind of hustle about you, because either you doing one or two things, or both, really, a third option. The first thing, you have a low level type job that you can do even without a lot of employment because you were already doing that, if that makes any sense. Or you are relying upon the government already. You got all kind of government benefits, food stamp, WIC, EBT, TANF. Okay, so I was in the economy of low paid people, so I was fine. And then, people have to come back down to that level when they don't have any money to do business. So, I mean, we were good for a while during that particular point. And then even the street money dried up. It got real bad. Like 2011. Oh man, it was crazy. It was crazy. So the street guys will be fine, but middle class people, it's going to be rough. Either you're going to be poor and helped by the government in kind of a socialist communist kind of way, or you're going to be someone that has a lot of money and you're going to be fine. Middle of the road, you have it the roast. You have it the worst. Minimum wage, that'll be on your back because you'll pay more for cost of goods and services. If you're a poor person, you have the government subsidizing you. You get food stamps with EBT, TANF, plus your job to help you. If you already have a lot of money, it doesn't really matter. It's a drop in the bucket. If you're middle of the road, you don't have a lot of money or government subsidy, so you're pretty much just out there floating, trying to figure out how to get it. So it's a squeeze on the middle class. Was there a bailout for the middle class back in '08? It was for Wall Street, not for Main Street. Now the tables are turned. They're on TV crying, cussing and fussing. But hey, man, this is not even anyone's fault other than your own. If you want so short on Gamestop and other companies, and Elon Musk is loving it because for a long time, the shorts were shorting Tesla. Oh, you can't make a profit. This ain't really going to go nowhere. Meanwhile, who just bought $1 million in Tesla stock? Anybody want to take a wild guess? Who just bought $1 million in Tesla stock? Nancy Pelosi. And then what did Joe Biden say just the other day? Oh, we're going to have all electric fleet in the military. Come on. Like, they were shorting Tesla, but they're going to go all electric. So the shorts were wrong trying to harm Tesla, talking about, oh, they can't make any money. And one thing they do, these big hedge funds, to intentionally drive the price down so they can make a profit on the shorts, they go on TV with people talking about how bad Tesla is and how we'll never make any money and they can't produce vehicles, they can't go to the moon, they can't do anything. They're, it's a one-trick pony. Elon Musk is a moron. He's stupid. He's crazy. He's on drugs. They do that. They go on TV and do that. But somehow that's not market manipulation. Although when they do that, that affects the price of the company. That reduces the price of the stock. So it helps the short sellers. It's crazy. Short selling can be a good thing if it's done properly and it's not done maliciously. If you have an overpriced stock and people are kind of betting on it to go down, that's one thing. But if you got all kind of research papers and guys going on TV, making statements that aren't true, and like private investigators trying to dig up dirt on you, now you're just trying to attack the company. Gamestop is victim of the attacks. Tesla, same thing. So Elon Musk is loving it. He's like, yeah, get him. Because they tried to get me. So how you like it now? It is what it is. But thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed what you're hearing so far, please give me a thumbs up on the video. Share the video. Do all that good stuff. And also, what else we got going on? But yeah, shout out to everybody. Shout out to Elon Musk and everybody who is putting their money into the stock market. And I tell you what, they're talking about having another stimulus check. I don't need it. I don't want it. But if you're going to give it to me, check it out. I'm putting it into the stock market immediately. And I'm buying a high risk, high reward stock. I'm talking about I'm buying Nokia. I don't care. Because this is what you've given me. You have made it to where a lot of us can't make money. We got to be shut down for months. People have lost loved ones. Can't even go to the funeral. Funeral got to be 5 people. Everybody get wet. Since you want to play games like that and try to take the president away from us, all this. Since you want to play games like that, okay, let's play games. Let's play. I'm not going to just sit back and let people just do things to me that are legal that I don't like without me doing things that are legal back. And I don't want to, I'm telling you right now, I don't want to, don't give it to me. Do not give me the stimmy. But if you send it, I'm going to spend it on a high risk, high reward stock. Out of spite. Because I don't even want it. I don't even need it. I'll throw it away. So what? But I digress. When I say fight back, if I ever say fight back, this is what I mean. I'm talking about in the real way. Put your money up, do things legally that they can't even do nothing to you on. They want to, you have the FBI agents calling you saying, hey, man, what are you doing? Nothing. I'm buying stocks on my app on my phone. Is that illegal? I could buy it on the App Store. I can download the app right now for free on the App Store. Is it illegal for me to buy stocks? No, it's not. Okay, cool. Then I'm going to do that. If they give homeless people in California money to get drugs and needles and all of that, and that's fine, then why can't I spend my money on stocks? But again, I move on. So shout out to the Norwegian, the PM? I don't know what he is. MP, member of parliament, Petter Eid. I know I'm turning his name up. It's not my fault. Blame the white man. But anyway, this guy nominated Black Lives Matter for a Nobel Peace Prize. I can't say I'm surprised. I can't say I'm shocked at all, but that's what they do. They say Black Lives Matter is about peace, and they're promoting the idea of racial justice, and, it's all good. But all that I've seen from Black Lives Matter is destruction and chaos. I challenge anybody to show me an article, a picture, a video, something that has BLM doing a positive thing in their community. All right, they got $10.6 billion because what I hear, the excuse I hear from these companies not really doing anything, these groups not doing anything for the community is, we don't have the money, we can't do it. Okay, Black Lives Matter raised $10.6 billion in just 6 months of 2020. What have they actually done for anybody, for the community? What have they given to anybody? What have they actually done? So why would they be considered for a Nobel Peace Prize? I mean, all they've done is just harm people. It's just chaos and destruction, and they create environments that create harm. Even if they don't do it themselves, they create a negative environment, which makes the situation worse. All right. A prime example is David Dorn, may he rest in peace. 77-year-old black man killed over a flat screen TV. Okay, you had riots in St. Louis caused by the BLM type energy, these BLM so-called protesters, all right? You got a lot of energy that says, F the police, ACAB, police get out, no police, no police, no police. So then the police are kind of forced to back off or to have less of them out there. They're not getting support from local governments, really. They're just kind of out there that you got the BLM people against them, the government locally against them. So what are you going to do? You don't have a whole lot of recourse there. So there's lack of police and things are just happening. People are stealing, robbing, shooting, and nothing is going on as far as any kind of apprehension, any kind of law enforcement. It's just anarchy in the streets. And then you have David Dorn, 77 years old, retired police officer who went down to protect his store for his friend, just to serve the community, just to do his duty, even at that advanced age, to go out there and try to help. Here comes young dope boy, young gangbanger, black man, killed some over a flat screen TV he was trying to loot. But I didn't really see that too much on television. I didn't see BLM apologize for that. I didn't see BLM, pay for the funeral or anything like that. I didn't see any of that. But all I see is BLM get celebrated by the mainstream media. You got little girls, Sequoia Turner, Jamila Bolden, so many little kids, women, everybody. Mostly black folks that had died. I think it was like 24 black people that got killed that were innocent, totally innocent, by BLM directly and or in areas that had been affected recently by BLM, meaning it's an environment that's dangerous and the crime had risen because it drove the police off and it created riots. It's like starting a fire and you have damage as a result of the fire. Let's say you start a fire, right? Like in the bushes, and then the whole forest burns down. Oh, I didn't burn the forest down. Well, you started the fire in the bushes. So what was the result going to be, sir? If you start a fire in one location with a bunch of brush and stuff around this area that's wooded, you burn the forest down. It's your fault. That's what BLM does. They start a fire in one area, then it spreads. You have all kind of other problems happen as a result of the one fire that begins. I mean, and a clear example of that was the whole thing with Sequoia Turner, the 8-year-old girl who got killed in Atlanta, Georgia by the BLM so-called protesters, 19-year-old black male who got locked up for it already. But anyway, Rayshard Brooks got killed right there at it was at a Wendy's in Atlanta. Trying to fight the police, taking the taser, taking the gun, all kind of stuff. He ends up getting shot. So the so-called BLM protesters go down there and literally burn up the Wendy's. They set it on fire. On video, they got them on videotape doing it. So as a result of that, you got this husk of a Wendy's just standing right there in Atlanta. And you have this little autonomous zone created around it with a bunch of young black guys out there with their guns, just doing whatever. And here comes a mom with her child in the car and a friend in the car. It's an exit right there on the interstate. She got off right there accidentally and wound up driving right into this little blocked off area. Now, okay, she's like, okay, I'm in the wrong area. I need to turn around and go the other way. As she was leaving to turn around and go back the other way, the guy shot in the car, killed a little girl. So the fire that was started by BLM caused a situation to even exist to where a little girl got killed. They'll say, oh, we didn't do it. It's not us. Well, it was your guys out there protesting, first of all. Second of all, the fire that you started, the issue that you created, made this environment possible for her to get shot. That's how they operate. So Nobel Peace Prize, I don't really understand that one, sir. Mr. Norwegian talking about, oh, they've raised awareness all over the world. I mean, and then I was reading the comments. A lot of you guys come from Canada, UK, Australia, other parts of the world, Asia, Africa. And you're saying that BLM has not helped your particular part of the world. You got the Aboriginals on that heavy in Australia. You got the Toronto people going crazy over BLM, and Europe and UK. You got all kind of crazy things going on as a result of BLM. It's not good, but they get the Nobel Peace Prize. Okay, it's crazy. But that was on my. I had to get it off my chest right there. I had to get it off my chest for sure. All right. So thank y'all again for joining. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, give me a thumbs up, share the video, like the video, do all that good stuff. And I appreciate you guys. And we got a whole lot more going on. Oh, speaking about Joe Biden and the 42 executive orders. Now, Joe Biden himself said that if you have a bunch of executive orders and you rule like that, rather than going through, the proper channels, then you are a dictator. So it's kind of funny how now he kind of goes back on that. But I can't say that I'm surprised that he would do a thing. He has executive orders on climate change, healthcare, racism, the virus, all types of stuff, stupid stuff, things that don't even really need to have. And of course, minimum wage, the transgender thing. Oh, that's a big one right there. I talk about that one too. I got to talk about that one because, you can't have trans athletes in sports. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But he was saying that if you have a bunch of executive orders, you're a dictator and you shouldn't be doing that. That's wrong. But he's done it. He set the record for the most executive orders in this period of time ever. Most out of anybody. And if he signed this many so quickly, it's not him coming up with them at all. All he's doing is going out there, just doing whatever the Democratic Party tell him. It's like, all right, Joe, look, you're going to have this meeting at 10 o'clock. You should be up by then, man. Get a suit on, get your tie together. If you can't get your tie together, get your wife to get it for you, Get dressed, look decent, comb your hair, no touching kids. Just go out there and read the teleprompter. What's the bill going to be? Don't worry about that, man. Just read the teleprompter. So he goes out there, reads the teleprompter for a good 3 minutes. He's squinting and whatnot, trying to figure out what's going on. And after he gets done with that, he says, okay, I'm going to sit down here and sign the executive order. He'll read it right quick, sign it, be done. The next day, rinse, wash, repeat. He might sign a few of them in the same day. So go out there, talk for a minute, sign it. Talk for a minute, sign it. Talk for a while, sign a few. It'd be a cycle from right there on the table. He has to sign. He does not know what he's signing until he signs it. He even said it. He was like, hey, what am I signing? People say that he didn't say it, but that's what I heard. I definitely heard, what am I signing? How can he know what he's signing when he signed 42 of them in 10 days? There's no way that he read them all. It's impossible. He couldn't have written them all. It's not enough time. There's a staff of people that already had these ready before the election was done. Like, they were doing this years ago. Anytime Trump would do a thing, they craft a thing to overtake that. So all they got to do when they come in power is have their next guy sign it. That's it. That's all they got to do. This is how the whole thing operates. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try to find that. I'm gonna try to find that video where he's like, "What am I signing?" I think they might have taken that down. Yeah, they try to like they put a warning on it. That's funny. That's hilarious. Hold on. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you guys this. You see what they did to my to the video? False information. See why? So it had it got checked by a fact checker. So a PolitiFact says it is false. It's not clear what Biden is saying while signing a document. Really? I mean, it's pretty clear he doesn't know what's going on. How can you know? Let's check it out. He don't know what he's signing. No. He has no idea what he's signing. How can he know that? All they're going to tell him is what it's about. Maybe at the best. He probably does not know what it is until he gets right there in front of the cameras. And then at that point, he's not going to be like, no, I'm not going to sign it. He'll do whatever they tell him to do. That's the whole deal here, sir. You failed your presidency twice. You failed running twice. You failed in 88. You failed in '08. So if you won in 20, you are not going to do anything outside of what we say. That's how it is. Pages are blank. They probably are blank. I wouldn't doubt it. If you have blank pages, I wouldn't doubt it because this is all symbolic. Like I said, it's already been done before. It's already been accomplished. What they want him to do has already been done. So it doesn't matter what's on the paper. It could be anything. He could have straight, completely 100% white paper, no lines on it, no nothing, just blank paper, and scribble on it, move on to the next thing. All right, 100%. But you know what? I would show that crazy Chinese way they do it. I can't show that. This is a family show. But if you go to my Facebook, go to, I have it somewhere. Oh, go to my Twitter. It's on my Twitter. Go back a few days. They have a demonstration of how they're administering the vaccine in China. I cannot show it here. I'm gonna get flagged immediately. It's a dummy that they're practicing on. But what they have is a dummy bent over in the airport because they're gonna test you in the airport. If you go to China, a matter of fact, I might not go to China right now. That might not be the best place to go right now because they might try to give you a rectum exam for the virus. What they did was had a dummy in the airport showing how they would do it. They pulled his pants down and put the ear, the Q-tip type thing they put in your nose. They put that in the sound parts to collect a sample. Now, I'm not really sure why that would be what you do because if it's a lung disorder, why are you going in my hind parts? Like, what's back there? Ain't no lungs back there. What are you doing, sir? I feel violated. So, one to the wise, don't go to China because you're going to get that where the sun don't shine, and I don't know if you want it. I know I don't want it, but no, it's not a game. I did a news report on it. Well, I put it on my pages, and it's not fake news. They had an actual dummy doing it. The guy was speaking probably in Mandarin, Canto. I don't know what that was, but yeah, don't do that. Don't go to China. Pretty much, they don't have that here in the U.S. But if it comes here, I wouldn't be surprised. Double mask. The funniest thing about double mask. Speaking about that kind of stuff, one guy said, "I have two masks on, and it's great." Now, this guy, you may have seen before. I've done videos about him before, and I'll put him on the screen. Here he is. This is the guy. This is Scott Wiener from California. Double masking is where it's at. Now, if you don't recognize him, you don't know who he is, I'll give you a brief recap. Scott Wiener is a guy in California who came up with he came up with Scott Guy is a guy in California that has the new rule. I can't speak right now. The new rule that says that if you pass HIV to somebody knowingly, it's not even a felony. It's like a misdemeanor. It's no problem. He was saying that having that be somehow illegal or a felony is anti-LGBT. It's discriminatory against people that are gay. But I mean, if you pass HIV to somebody, that's like attempted murder. If you knowingly pass it, that's, you could kill somebody like that. So that should be a felony. But he can wear two masks. So the message is no, protection down there, but all of it up here. I mean, what does it really matter at? Because your mask, wearing it or not, will not give somebody HIV. But if you don't put something else on, you can definitely pass the monster to somebody. All right? So that's what that is. So yeah, Scott Wiener, the biggest hypocrite I've ever seen, or one of them at least. Yes, he said you can pass HIV to somebody and it's okay. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it up. Hold on, let me try to find somebody that doesn't have the pay gate. And See, it's Google. They don't want to. Hold on. There we go. Nah, they're not really trying to show it. Washington Post has it. They have it. So yeah, if you search Scott Wiener HIV, it'll come right up. It will come right up. They got it a little bit right here on CNN, but they're not telling you who's behind it. California lowers penalty for knowingly exposing others to HIV. Right there on the screen before you. This is October 10th, 2017. So it's been around for quite a while. It's definitely been around. Oh yeah, matter of fact, it's law because Jerry Brown at the time he signed it, and that was SB 239. Yep. And Scott Wiener was behind it because he has an alternative lifestyle as well. So that's like his ballpark. All right, but what else we got? There's a whole lot of stuff going on. It's a whole. Oh, let's talk about the transgender sports thing. Now, Joe Biden, one of his executive orders, one of the 42 executive orders, says that you should not be discriminated against when it comes to being LGBT, trans, or whatever. When it comes to your restrooms, when it comes to locker rooms, and also sports. So that means if you have a daughter, 14 years old, high school, ninth grader, she could be potentially in a locker room with a 16-year-old male that identifies as female. Huh? I mean, is that what you want? Bathroom, same thing. He over there dropping the deuce in the bathroom, or even worse, he's at his stall with his thing out while she right there next to him in a stall or whatever the case may be. Is that safe? Is that right? Is that what you want? I mean, if I was a young lady, I would not want that in the bathroom with me. I just wouldn't want it. I want a space that's just for us. And even as a male, I don't want anyone else other than males in the bathroom because I don't want anything weird to happen. I don't want anybody to get accused of something they didn't do. It's just not safe for anybody. It's best to have a men's restroom, women's restroom, or a third one to be a family restroom where it's like one stall. You understand? So it's a single thing, like a gas station bathroom, where they got the one stall. That's fine, but where you got people in there together, it needs to be one gender only. I don't care what you identify as. You could be Dennis Rodman, 6'8", wearing a whole wedding dress, at the game. I don't care how you look or whatever. If you're a male, go over there with the males. If you're female, go with the females. That's it. Same thing with the penitentiary. That's next. They're already putting men in prison. Well, see, it's kind of a double-edged sword. My thing would be, if you are a transgender, don't go to jail. Matter of fact, don't go to jail at all, period. Don't break the law because regardless of what, you could be transgender, heterosexual, homosexual, whatever it is, going to jail is dangerous. All right, I know guys that have been to jail. It's not safe. It's not fun. But they're already trying to put trans women, people that were born as males that now identify as women, in jails with biological women. That's dangerous because even they might have the twig and barriers removed. They might not have the stuff anymore, but they're still a man. They still got the strength and whatnot and size of a man. That's dangerous. And if they've not had the snip, I mean, you're going to have pregnant inmates in jail getting pregnant in jail. It's one thing to have somebody that's in jail that was pregnant before they came in, but to get pregnant in jail, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. You already got pregnant guards getting pregnant in jail. I'm talking about that. You're going to have pregnant inmates by other inmates. So it's just not right. But getting back to the sports is unfair. I did my video today talking about how Spud Webb was 5'7" and won the dunk contest. And understand this, if you don't know about basketball, the hoop is 10 feet in the air. 10 feet. So for you to be 5'7" and dunk, I mean, you gotta have a crazy vertical. I don't know, 50-inch vertical or something. You gotta have a crazy vertical to be able to get up that high and dunk with both hands. Not even just like a one hand type thing. I'm talking about both hands, like reverse. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put the picture up so you could kind of see just how crazy it is. Just how high off the ground you are at that height with the rim being so high. Okay, let's do this here. There we go. Let's put it on the screen. So look at how high he is. I mean, you see where his feet are? You see where his feet are compared to the ground. The ground is all the way down there. Like down here. It's not even in the frame all the way. The ground is like right there. His feet are all the way up here. 5'7" dunking. His elbows are at the level of the rim. That's very high to get up and jump. 5'7". Now, let's look at Brittany Griner, who's a dunking female. And Brittany Griner is 6'8". And she dunked. And, you know, everybody was like, oh, she dunked. But she's 6'8". Okay, so let's look at her feet and how high they're off the ground, or really how low they're off the ground. All right, let's check this out. So, so you see this? Her feet are just like, it's like a box is right there. She jumped over a box. She's 6'8", and look at how low she is compared to the hoop. She's barely able to get the ball over the hoop. Her elbows are like a good 2 feet below the hoop. I mean the rim. 2 feet below the rim. Her elbow is at the bottom of the hoop. She's barely able to get over. 6'8". Spud Webb 5'7". The point is, men and women are different when it comes to athletics. Period. If you put men and women's athletics, I don't care if they're transgender, if they got hormone therapy, if they got the snip, they're still a man. Period. It's unfair. Track and field, weightlifting, football, basketball, softball, tennis, lacrosse. Even Serena Williams said, hey, I cannot beat any man. I'd be ranked really low. Playing against the men is not really a thing. It's a whole different game. It's faster. They hit harder. She even said it. This is probably the best tennis player, or one of the best of our time in the women's league, saying, nah, this is not, it's not the same. You know, the average normally that does not watch sports may not understand that. But if you understand biology, you understand that. That's just a fact. Yeah, WNBA, if not for the NBA, there'd be no WNBA. WNBA would not exist without the NBA, because nobody's watching that. Nobody wants to see a bunch of masculine women just do layup drills and miss. It's not even like a skilled thing. They're just not really good. That's just a fact. They're good for women, but we're talking about comparing that to the men's game. There's no comparison at all. Oh, the MMA. Hey, you had Fallon Fox in the MMA, who was a transgender female, born a man, and she fractured a woman's skull. It was ugly to even watch it. It was like seeing a man beat his wife. It was like, man, you need to call the police. This is assault right here. I don't want to see this no more. Okay, I don't want to see this man beat this woman, man. I want the police to get called on this man immediately and get him locked up. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see this. I want to see women against women, men against men. It doesn't matter. If somebody happens to be gay or whatever, I don't care. It's gay guys in the NBA, NFL, and MMA. I don't care about that. That's their business. You know, they could be like I said, you could be like Dennis Rodman. And if you guys never seen Dennis Rodman in his wedding dress, if you don't, kind of young for that, I'll show you right quick. Now, Dennis Rodman is one of the best defensive. He was one of the best basketball players ever. Real good defensively, one of the best defensive guys in the whole. And he's like one of the top 5 defensive guys ever to ever do it. Rebounding machine, a beast. He could probably still play right now and get probably about 8 rebounds a game if he tried at like 50 years old, however old he is. But that's him right there. That's Dennis in his wedding dress. Okay. And a goon will stomp you in the wine. 6'8", probably a good 250 right there. big, crazy jaw, all of that in the wedding dress. But guess what? He could put that wedding dress on and put some low top Air Force Ones on, and the next day go out and get no points, 50 rebounds, and 10 blocks, and take every charge and use 6 fouls. That's the kind of guy. I don't care nothing about that. Go out there and play. And don't play with the women. Don't put that on and be like, I want to play with the women. No. Play with the men. Period. Hey, Dennis Rodman was a beast. Period. I don't care nothing about the flamboyant stuff. That's him. That's what he likes to do. That's what he likes to get into. I'm not hating, but that man was a beast on the basketball court. The whole point is, don't go play with the women. Play with the men. And if you can't play with the men, if you're not very good, then it is what it is. That's just, sucks to be you. I had dreams of becoming a great NBA basketball player, but it didn't work out too well. I'm not good at basketball, really. I like to watch basketball, but you get me out there in the court, I can defeat a regular normie in the game maybe, but trying to play with LeBron, it ain't really going to work out too well. All right. So, yeah, the whole thing with Joe Biden and executive order allowing for trans people in sports, in high school, college, or whatever, I suppose, it's not going to end well. What you're going to have in college especially, you're going to have coaches recruiting transgender players because they know the game. The biggest sports that bring cash to colleges are men's basketball and football. Two biggest sports. So if you can get men playing with the women, and they can be competitive, they can get some money drawn in, it can help them and their team succeed. If you got a team of all women, and I got a team with a couple of Joanna mans on it, I'm gonna dominate you. It don't matter. And the man could have been halfway decent. Matter of fact, I was watching Megan Rapinoe, the soccer player, and I think they were playing a high school team of boys, and they got stomped by the high school team of boys. This is professional soccer players that are women getting stomped by a high school team of boys. It's differences. And you know what? It's funny because people like Joe Biden and others, they talk about believe in the science when it comes to Dr. Fauci and the masks and the virus and climate change and stuff like that, renewable energy. But then when it comes to basic biology, things you can observe that are obvious, like having ovaries, not having ovaries, then they totally ignore it. They totally ignore the science then. So it's only, quote unquote, believe the science whenever they want to believe in it. So whenever I hear that believe the science, I just totally ignore it. If I ever hear that, I know who I'm talking to is just they're not really there. Mentally, they're just kind of brainwashed. They just repeat whatever they hear on television. All right. But thank y'all again for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. I got super chats on deck, and then I'm going to get to the calls. So y'all just hang tight for the calls. I'm going to get to that in just a little bit. Let's see where we at. Let me see. Shout out to Apu with a few super chats. I'm going to read those right quick. Who says, awesome video with deep detail, legitimate criticism of BLM Nobel Peace Prize nomination. So many innocent people killed, injured, or hurt by BLM. Exactly. He also says, one of three, say their names: BLM, Victoria Rose Smith, Cannon Hennett, Sequoia Turner, Horace Lorenzo Anderson Jr., Italia Marie Kelly. He also says, it's a few more names: David Dorn, Patrick Underwood, Burnell Trammell, Tamaris Bohannon, Harold Preston, David McAtee, Chris Beatty, Jose Gutierrez, Jessica Dottie, Whitaker. May Almighty God grant them eternal rest for their souls. Exactly. Those are all the people that have been killed by BLM and/or in BLM situations where BLM comes in and creates a problem and there's riots. All the people got killed in these scenarios that I just mentioned. All right. Oh, yeah. In the Olympics, to talk about that right quick, you have trans people in the Olympics already, and they're already winning certain sports. Powerlifting, obviously, it's going to be dominated by men. Basketball, dominated by men. Matter of fact, here's a picture. Olympics basketball, transgender. And you're going to see the obvious difference. You're going to see the clear difference. Matter of fact, hold on. It's not. It doesn't want to show me for some reason. Hold on. Oh, there it is. There we go. Here we are. Okay. So this is what I wanted to show. Now, tell me which person happens to be transgender. You just give me a wild guess. Just give me a guess. You don't got to be an expert on trying to identify. But tell me how this is fair. How is this fair? Come on, man. Like, I don't care about how they identify, whatever they got going on in their life. That's fine. That's not my business. But come on. Really, man? Sir, ma'am, Sam, whatever your pronouns are, this is unfair. Stop it. Okay? And then here's another one. All right. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, that's you guys see. You guys saw what was going on with that. That's just not right. And then here's another one. These are real pictures. Now, this is simply not right. Come on. Look at the physical structure. Come on. Next to the woman. And then you see her face, she's just like kind of dejected, like, how am I going to win this? How can I win this? Look, you see she has the body of a woman, a young woman, right? Body of a young woman, and there's another one, young woman, okay? And then, come on. This ain't right. Look at the upper body. That's all muscle right there. That's all power. Compared to the young lady right here, it's the physical structure is different. This is unfair. I don't care nothing about how they identify, how they dress, or whatever. But come on, man. All right. So that's what your man Joe Biden did. Allow for that to happen and just be all right. And the girls are heated. People in women's sports, they're tight. They're mad because they can't compete with that. They can't transform into a different biology than what they were born with. They can't do anything about that. So of course they're going to be mad because this is unfair. This is something that they must contend with that they can't contend with. All right. Shout out to Apple who says, BLM supporter Aria Robinson commits evil crime. Indiana teen commits evil crime. Lord have mercy. Crickets from BLM and Dems and media. Also, Trump pardons O'Harris. Will he get street cred? Chiefs or Bucks? Am I going to watch? I'm not going to watch. Because the thing is, they're pulling some of the best ads. I've not watched football all year, really. So, it's just been kind of weird. No fans and all the SJW stuff. I think I'm good. If there's some good ads, I'll catch them on Twitter probably right when they happen. But that's all I really want to see is the ads. And the truth is, that's really why I watch anyway, is for the ads. Because a lot of times the games aren't even really that good. And with what's happening recently with all the virus stuff, it ain't the same as it had been before when I was younger and watching football. If they can just tighten this stuff up and not have so much political stuff be there, then I'll come back. Apple says Democrats, Massachusetts Senator Ed Markey, climate change is racist. Joy Reid, Martians and flying saucers going to attack Earth because of global warming. Did it really say that? That Martians and flying saucers are going to attack because of global warming? I've not heard that at all. That's crazy. If she said that, that's absolutely nuts. Climate change being racist is a silly thing to say. That's just absurd. How can a phenomenon that's natural be racist? That's like saying rain is racist. It's silly to even say that. Apu says, new virus test in Canada is called Popsicle. Shout out to Ben RP who says, Robinhood canceled my 742 on GameStop. Yeah, I've been hearing about that. So on Robinhood, what they were doing is closing out people's positions regardless. They were just, not letting you buy it or selling it. Not even letting it grow so you're able to have money in the game and then try to sell when it gets to a certain point. Yeah. The funniest part about this, they say that Robinhood was doing that to protect people. It's like, protect people. I know that there's risk involved with buying and selling stocks because the stock could go up, it could go down. If it goes up, you make money. If it goes down, you lose money. That's my prerogative. Maybe I want to take a risk. It's just like going to Vegas. Really, I mean the stocks are not quite the same thing as just gambling just to gamble, because you can get ownership even if the price goes down. You still have ownership in that stock. You get a tangible thing really in the stock. So it's not quite Vegas. It's the same thing, because it might go well, it might not go well. That is my risk to take. Thank you to Books for becoming a new member of the ABL supporter team. Shout out to Dennis Toll, who says, ABL, invest in some lead, hot lead out the barrel. Dylan says, BLM literally chants, no justice, no peace. Maybe they were nominated out of fear so they don't burn down a Nobel committee next. Hey, that's a good point. But you know what? If they get nominated and they don't win, then that's going to be a problem too. So they got to win after the nomination. You got to go full circle, or it's going to be a problem if they worried about any kind of violence. Mo versus Windshield says Seattle chopped by BLM, killed a black teen and multiple women in Costed. That's the future BLM wants Noble. Also, did you see the clip of Bryant trying to put a pen in his jacket pocket? I saw that. He was struggling real hard. It was a pen. He was just trying to put it in his pocket. Matter of fact, I got a pen. He was trying to put the pen away, and he was like, just real struggle. Like, sir, it's not that hard. You have a pocket right there. Just put it in your pocket. But he was struggling for a good 15 seconds or more. It was crazy. But I think we all know that he's declining. He's not really there all the way. His brain function is not quite the way it used to be. Not saying it was ever super high, but it's definitely not high right now. Let me see. Justice Smith says whites and Hispanics voted Crow Biden in. Shaking my head. Yeah, they did, but we did too. Let's not play that game. We voted less for Joe Biden than we did before, but still 89, 90%. That's not good. A lot of whites voted for him. I think Biden lost. Well, take that back. I think Trump won or gained in every category aside from white males. According to what I saw in exit poll data, that does not mean that Trump got, it doesn't mean that Biden didn't get more votes in those groups. But that's a different story, because who knows what's really thinking about that. I don't know what's going on. That could be real information, fake information. All that I do know is that a lot of black folks are out here celebrating. A lot of these black areas are celebrating. A lot of the white liberals are celebrating. The Hispanics, I don't hear too much from them. They're out there working. It's busy getting money. Thank you to Watts, who says, this seems to be one of the last places where truth is allowed. Hey, I try to do my best. Thank you for your donation. I appreciate you. Matthew says, is it Senator Scott Wiener who tried to lower the age of consent or leniency for homosexual relationships for older men, teenage boys? Yes, it is him. Talking about, it's different. It's a coming of age. Talking about you can be 14 and be with a grown man. I mean, the dude is sick. He's sick, literally sick. Should be in the penitentiary, locked up. Talking about something, I wear 2 masks. How about wear something else? How about don't let teen boys, be taken by these grown men? You know what I'm saying? But I digress. Thank you to Nick, who says AMC and GME to the moon, baby, all day long. Thank you to Young Manhood Channel YMC, who says the left is nuts. They are. Thank you to Per Kalo, who says, if I see anything in the women's restroom that shouldn't be there, I hit it with a stick. Hey, I don't blame you, not in the least bit. That's funny, Devin. 2009 call, they want circle back. That is hilarious. That's the new phrase of, what's that, Jen Psaki, the new press secretary. I'll circle back to you on that. I'll circle back. She said that, every question or every other question was to circle back to you on that. It's crazy. Oh, okay, Angel, I'm going to try to find that for you. The video of Biden and the pen. I'm going to try to find that right quick. Give me a second. And while I'm looking for that, please like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Hold on, let me see. I'm trying to find, here we go. Perfect. Let's see if it's the right video. Vet it right quick, because it becomes some weird stuff. Yeah, perfect. There we go. All right. And you can see it on the screen before you. It's a pen. trying to put it in his pocket, but it's like, hey, what's going on? Opening his jacket pocket, trying to. He's looking at the whole, at the actual pocket, and it's just not working. He just kind of gives up.
Executive order.
Hold on, let me look back at it. It just wasn't going. Now, I don't know what was going on with that. Is that a new jacket where he didn't pop open the pocket in the inside? Because that could be the case, because a lot of times in these suits, your pockets would be stitched together, closed for some reason, and you got to pop them open. Maybe he didn't do that, but I mean, at a certain point, you got to know that it's not working, and you stop. That was, 21 seconds of him trying to do that before you just say, you know what, all right, I just give up. All right, so that was kind of strange. But hey, people, they voted for Joe. They love Joe. And the funny part is that I saw more Bernie Sanders memes after the inauguration than anything dealing with Joe at all. So where's the enthusiasm? Not there, but we digress. Thank you to Veronica who says, hello, ABL. Hello back to you. Appreciate you for your donation. Louis from Spain says, the weird principle of the left is we got to please everybody. And to please some transgenders, they're discriminating all the women. Nice, exactly. You're trying to help the transgender, but you're hurting biological women. So how is that fair? Like, you're talking about, they got to have rights. Well, your rights shouldn't trample upon my rights. I have the right to compete with other women that are biological women. You are intruding upon my rights if I'm a woman. So that's unfair. Ty says, Steve Hughes was warning people how this PC culture would end up 15 years ago. Thank you for your donation. Books Foxy says, women should be upset that they're being pushed out of a class. Exactly. Thank you to Shaggy Boy and Mike from Queens who says, buy and redefining a phone in the pen. Man, to the max, ain't he? Good grief. 42 executive orders and actions. Crazy. Louis from Spain says, create the U.S. Peace Prize with 50 known internet conservatives. Give it to both Trump and the police for the first year and make a huge event. Thank you to Steve-O for becoming an ABO supporter. And shout out to Squid's dad who said, thanks for doing what you do, brother. Hey, ain't no problem. Thank you for your support. I couldn't do it without y'all. All right, we got calls on deck, of course. You guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658. There it is, 434-658-1220. There's also a Skype email in the box below if you want to get in that way. Let me turn on Skype right quick. If it wants to act up, it's not my fault. You already know. Got to blame the white man. Don't blame me. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right. So what are you guys buying? You guys buying AMC? You guys buying Dogecoin? What's up? And how do you say that? Is it Dogcoin, Dogecoin? I thought it was Doge, like the dog. I thought it was Dogecoin. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. We'll see. Test. Okay, that's good. And let's do this. 480, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? All right, man. What's happening?
Can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Nothing much. Just hanging out here, listening to the show, enjoying the content there. I have a concern, though. I was last week talking about AMC and Gamestop. Now, with the pump and everything that happened this week, my concern is with the Great Reset. The way that I kind of connect the two is if this continues, it's nice, it could be a big shift in funds from the big man to the little man, which everybody always likes. But at the same time, it's kind of a redistribution of wealth in a sense. And at the same time, our dollar's dying. So if we can't bring the dollar back collectively and we're trying to destroy each other and the companies that we're investing in, this is kind of what the Great Reset wants, is us to kind of devalue ourselves. And if people basically start trading money through these stocks like they were kind of doing with GameStop, it wasn't really valued what the company was supposed to be, but they were trading in and out of it, kind of shifting money that way rather than the actual stock market and how it actually worked. It's concerning to me, to say the least. with all this talk, about also the culture war and how we're going towards, men and women being in the same sport, that's also going to kill a big industry of women's sports. I know it's not the biggest industry as far as like the WNBA, but there is like different women's sports. Look at ice skating and stuff like that. I mean, what movie did they do back in the day? Blades of Glory. I had Will Ferrell, and he was a guy that basically went and did a couple skate, and he took over the entire thing because it was two men who were basically way more fit to actually do the sport together. So I mean, that's figure skating. That's like the joke of the movie, but at the same time, that was a women's sport. And at this time, we're destroying, the stock market. At the other end of the stick, we got Joe Biden, putting in all these executive orders that are destroying jobs with global health or global warmth and global climate change. So, at every aspect right now with culture, with, the economy, and then also with just overall sense of, women should be in women's sports and men should be in men's sports, but every industry is getting destroyed, and it's just freaking me out now thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you.
Yeah, it's super concerning to me. I kind of was just ranting there, but I thought I'd get your opinion on it and see, if you can see that kind of path also happening, that at the same time, like, yeah, everybody's making money, but we're also, not actually using the stock market for the stock market. And at the same time, the dollar's dying and everybody's dividing, and everything's dividing. Everybody's going in their own direction, and it's no longer America, 50 states united. It's culture war.
Well, I mean, I think it's not really that deep. I don't think it's really that deep, because once you leave like the internet space, it's not as divided as what it may appear. People are still kind of people at the end of the day. Humanity is still humanity. People still want to, be with each other, commune with each other, build relationships, and then hold on, and then also,
okay, yeah, go ahead.
And then also, I think that I think we'll be able to get beyond this. The whole thing with the stock market, I mean, it is what it is. People are going to get money regardless. This is America. They're going to get money regardless. So I don't think it's really a big deal at this moment. They're not using the stock market appropriately, maybe, but people that kind of are getting into it now aren't really stock experts. They're not going to be day traders or anything like that. It's just regular people trying to get a piece of the pie. So, maybe some people they'll get into it, they'll learn, and then they'll figure out a way to use it in a more efficient way. I mean, who knows? But I think the main thing that I like from it, people are getting educated about it. Whereas before,
yeah, exactly,
it's kind of for certain people, and it's only for them. Now, the average person on their couch can be involved with it, and they can understand how to really use it and how to make it really work for them.
Yeah, no, definitely, I agree with that. But the people who are not in the stock market, the people who don't pay attention to politics, who like sports, it's getting shoved down their throats too. So that's the culture war, where it brings you into it no matter where you are. Everybody's talking about it now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. But thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, no worries. Again, I told you last week, I'm Earth Monkey on YouTube if you guys want to follow. I appreciate you, ABL, what you do, and I'm continue watching, and I enjoy your chats, and I love how you take calls at the end. But God bless you. I hope you have a good night, man.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, let's get to a few more calls. Number to call, 434-658-1220. Yeah, when you're talking about just regular normies out there in the world, they don't know about any of this. If you're talking about Dogecoin and whatnot, they'd be like, what? They don't really know. Their view to the world is the mainstream media, and a lot of people don't even watch. When you're talking about voting, they may hear certain things at the workplace, at the water cooler, whatever, about Trump or Biden, and they pretty much act on that. So we got to get information out here. It's like the epicenter information. We got to get it out right here, and then let it emanate just all over the place to people. So by the time somebody gets it at the end, hopefully it'll be good information, because they're not really tuned in straight to the source like we are. But let's get to the next call. All right, caller, who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to Steve again, the guy who you spoke to earlier, before Joe Biden, the election results were finalized, the blind guy again. And, I wanted to get my thoughts out here on the whole Wall Street thing. So, what I think what Robin Hood did was not professional, and I feel like, they should be shut down and sued to the ground for it. Especially trying to like protect the hedge fund guys. Like what were they thinking?
Well, I think what happened was they did not understand how to really communicate what was going on. They tried to give the basic kind of like, customer service answer, or we're sorry for the inconvenience and we want the best for our customers. They weren't really being real, because the other guy from Webull had the same exact thing happen. He had to stop trading certain stocks as well, but he was able to go on television and communicate it better than the Robinhood guy. And I think that's the big difference, is lack of communication. Because what really happened, in my humble opinion, is that Robinhood did not have enough money to handle all of the transactions. They were out of cash, so they couldn't do it. That's what happened, in my humble opinion. But they didn't come out and say that. They said other things. So really, I think if they were able to communicate better, people will understand. Now, as far as if they should be sued or whatever, they probably will be sued, and then probably will be some pain on their end because of how this whole thing was handled. And it all comes from not being prepared. If they weren't ready for the regular person, the average normie, to come out here on the Robinhood app or TD Ameritrade or whatever they're doing and just buy stocks with a lot of cash, with free money, they weren't ready for it. So they handled it terribly. And I think that if they're held liable for anything, it'd be how they actually handled the surge, rather than problems that came about as a surge that the surge created that they couldn't control.
Oh, yeah, you have a good point there. I just don't think it was really good for people to just do that, because it made the stock market look like a casino, and it was, quite frankly, honestly, you're not supposed to do that. I mean, like I've been watching a lot of the Ben Shapiro videos for the past week, and he has a fair point that, yeah, it was a funny prank, but at the end of the day, if people decide to try to get into it late in the game, hoping it'll go even further up so they can make money, well, they're just going to be left holding the, bad end of the bargain. So, yeah, I do have a question, though. Do you think that Donald Trump will be reelected in 2024?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think that he may or may not run. I mean, because you still got quite a while before 2024 is here. He's already 74 years old. So by then he'd be 78. And then he would be 82 by the end of his next term if he was running again. So he may not want to. He may just stay in the background and help others get to the Oval Office. So who knows? It all depends on Trump, whatever he wants to do and whatever is happening in 2024 as far as state of the country. He could be reelected, but it really depends on him and the state of the country.
Yeah, I think it does. I do hope that he does run again, because I feel like what he did with, like, especially trying to get rid of critical race theory, he needs to get rid of that, because again, that stuff is racist, and I can't believe that, like, they're calling the President's 1776 final commission report, fake information, because it's not,
Well, of course, they're going to do that because it goes against their narrative. Everything's about victimhood and white man bad, orange man bad. It goes against what they want. So, yeah, they're going to say it's fake because that's their way of just dismissing it and not having to actually deal with it. So, yeah, that's basically what they want to do. They want to come in and bring whatever kind of ideals they have from their side of the aisle and make that be mainstream to the general public.
Yeah. And speaking of victimhood, that brings up another important point, that 75% of blind people are unemployed, and then they like to whine about how they got all these barriers when if they have all those barriers, they can't try to maybe some of them at least some of them can't try to at least create their own softwares or something, especially for the internet, to overcome those barriers. So there's another example of victimhood there.
Yeah, I mean, you got a point about that. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you again for the second time.
Oh, likewise, man. Appreciate you.
All right, have a nice day.
All righty. Thank you to the call. Let's get to the next one. 816 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, Katie Stafford.
All righty, what's going on?
Oh, yes. So basically, I was calling in to talk about all the donations raised by BLM, and so I looked into a little bit of this, not a lot, on BLM, but I seen where they raised like $5 million in donations. Are they a registered nonprofit organization? So I tried to look that up, and I can't see where they are, other than what the social media or the news outlets are reporting.
That's a good question. I'm not really sure if they are or not. That's something that needs to really be looked into, because there's a lot of money flowing through them. There's a whole lot of cash, whole lot of things happening. So their actual status legally is pretty important.
Well, and with so many different outlets reporting that they are a nonprofit organization, you have to disclose funding and audit every year to keep your status of a nonprofit organization. That's what I understand is why is none of this being, discussed more? I mean, that's a lot of money, $5 million. Who is accepting these funds? They gave an individual's name, but there's so many different outlets for people to donate through. Do they have a treasurer? I mean, what are they doing? That's a lot of funds.
That's
a lot of people I've seen living in tents in Washington, which if they had that much money, I'm sure they don't have to put people in tents.
Right, exactly.
I guess I didn't have a question. I was just wondering if they were nonprofit and if you knew anything, if they were or not.
Yeah, I don't really know too much about their official status, but I'm gonna look into it. And I thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, thanks.
All right, now.
Bye.
Yeah, BLM making money hand over fist. They're just getting money. Tons of billions of dollars. Like $1 billion is so much money. It's kind of hard to fathom because, the way it is now, you keep hearing from Congress, oh, we're going to give $100 billion, $800 billion, $1 trillion for this and that. They throw around these numbers like it's nothing, but $1 billion is a lot of money. It's 1,000 million. 1 million, if you get $1 million, that's a lot of money. To get 1,000 million is tremendous. Now think about 1,000 million many times over, 10 times over, 1,000 million, 10 times over. That's what BLM got in 6 months and some. Two one two, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
212, hello. Who am I speaking to?
Is this ABL?
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry. I just got through. Great. So I don't want to get into the whole Robin Hood thing because it's pretty obvious what happened to the small people. But I do want to talk about my experiences in New York City, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Okay, great. So today I was on Long Island. I went to a food bazaar, which is kind of like a Whole Foods version of another brand of supermarket. And I had a little issue in the parking lot with one of the workers, and some guy started backing up the worker, whatever, and he called me the N-word. And I called him a racist because I'm not black, I'm not white. And he thought it was okay for him to constantly call me the N-word. And obviously he was a light-skinned person of whatever. It doesn't even matter. I don't care what color you are. You don't call strangers the N-word. And I repeated to him, are you calling me the N-word? And he said, yeah, what's up, the N-word? And he's literally holding his son's hand while doing this in the parking lot. And I'm just dumbfounded. I don't know how to react, ABL. I mean, this is the retardation. Like, I'm Asian. I don't need to deal with this every day. You know, I don't need to be called the N-word. I have nothing to do with slavery. I have nothing to do with your N-word. And you're going to call me the N-word and say it's okay. With your child holding your hand. And you want me to fight you with your child holding your hand? I mean, this is just... I just feel so in shock. I didn't know how to react, you know? And so I just want your opinion. What should I do the next time? Should I just call him a racist, get him on my camera, and just upload it on YouTube?
I mean, I don't know about all that. It's like, because you can either ignore it or you can engage. Now, if you engage, be ready to fight.
The thing, I don't mind fighting. I grew up in New York. I don't mind fighting. The whole point is, I think people need to stop ignoring and start engaging and calling people out, because you can't have your cake and eat it too, and call innocent people the N-word just because it's your culture. You know, I'm not part of that culture. I get it. In high school, we all used the N-word. It was like a cool thing to do. But as you grow up, you realize, okay, that's not really cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I'm with you.
I just don't. Yeah, you know what I mean? We all been through it. I listen to all kinds of rap. I listen to Group Home, Tribe Called Quest. You know, I'm from the 90s rap, you know, and I got it. You know, it was cool to kind of like call each other that as a term of endearment. But as you get older, you realize, oh, that's not really cool because it has a dark history. So I've never said that to any of my friends as an adult, whether they're black, white, or any race. And I just feel like we need to stop making excuses for certain people to say it's okay for a certain group to say it. But when they say it to a different race, there's a border there. I just feel like, listen, I don't know you. I didn't use it against you. I didn't call you that. Why are you calling me that?
I got you, man. You know, people out there, they just do things sometimes. You know, they try to provoke you,
Because
try to get
it's
into a fight.
socially acceptable.
Well, I mean,
You feel like
sometimes,
it's like-
well, hold on. People do things
Yeah,
because they
go
want to
ahead.
do it. They don't really care about how you feel. And they might want to provoke you, or it's acceptable to them. They don't really care.
Oh, no, he was definitely trying to provoke me.
Yeah, so I
While
mean
holding
that can happen.
I mean,
Hold on,
don't-
caller.
right,
Listen
but I
to me
just
now.
don't-
Listen,
yeah,
caller.
go ahead,
Listen to
go
me.
ahead.
That can happen with anything,
Mm-hmm.
with any word or whatever. That can happen with whatever. So it's up to you to be provoked or not. That's really it. Because what you're saying is right. I understand where you're coming from, but you can take it as a provocation to try to fight and engage and fight or not. That's really your only options. But you know in your mind that it's not right. You're not going to just be like, okay, I'm going to just, be this guy's friend. But if you want to engage, be ready to go ahead and get rocking and rolling. You know, so that's your decision to make.
I don't have no problem engaging. The point is, if it was reversed, I would be on the front page of the.
Oh, you already know it. You know that. You know that is
But
is
do
a, you know
understand,
that's the
like,
reality.
I just don't understand why it's acceptable.
I
for
mean,
him to do
we
it.
know that there's things in
You know?
society that aren't right. Double standards that exist. We know that.
Right.
That's just the reality.
Right.
It's not right, but that's just the way it is. It's some things that are like that. But thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
No. I'm just trying to point out that, like,
I get it. I understand, but
races-
I get your point. But I have more calls online, so thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Okay, great. All righty. Take care, ABL.
I
Bye.
know. Yeah, man. It's certain things in life that just aren't fair. But what are you going to do about it in that situation? You know that it's not right. You're not going to do it yourself. But you can, like, not let it affect you and just, go about your day. Or you can engage. Now, if you engage, get your pistol, get your knife, and be ready to go ahead and get rocking. So it's all about what you think is important to you. Is that guy worth risking going to jail for? Maybe even a penitentiary? I know guys that got locked up behind stuff like that. Maybe you think it's worth it, and that's I can't make that be different in your mind. Let's get to some more calls here. 928, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Jennifer.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, man, I've been watching you for a long time. Appreciate your wisdom. So what are your thoughts on, the other day I saw Biden, when he was signing the executive orders, and I don't know if many people know about this, but it was filmed, and he actually said that he didn't know what he was signing. And the Democrats next to him said, just sign it.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't know what he's signing. He signed 42 executive orders in 10 days, not even 10 full business days, like probably about 7 business days. He signed that many executive orders. So there's no way he can know what he's
Right.
signing. He doesn't know what he's signing. They put him in front of him and say, hey, okay, look, sign that right now. Just go ahead and sign it. He doesn't know what he's signing. So it's not
No.
surprising that he actually would say something like that.
Exactly, and this is why I wish the liberals and everybody that were idiots out there that voted for him could see this. They just signed their death certificate. You know what I mean? They don't understand that. Now, I'm a veteran, and I know many of you out there feel the way I do. It's just like we fought for our country to see this kind of crap going on. And my son wants to go in the military, and I don't know how I feel about that right now.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you.
Yeah,
I definitely hear you because right now it's a crazy time in society. There's a whole lot going on. So I understand how you feel. All I would do is, if that is your concern, if anybody's still in that, they're still in the military, talk to them and see how they, what the climate is like right now in the military. That might give you a kind of a better understanding about how to go forward, because things look one way, but sometimes once you're on the inside, it's different.
right. I mean, my son, at least I taught my kids how to go with what's right. And, have their own mind, but go with what's right. And my son now sits with me, that wants to go in the military. He really believes in the views of Trump as we all did. It's just that I just cannot believe, like what you were talking about earlier today. I saw all your videos today about transgenders and all that. Now, I'm going to switch subjects here. I do, as a, woman and a veteran female, again, Biden signed an executive overthrew Trump's bill to let transgenders and all of them in the military again. Back then, when I was in the first Gulf War, that was a no-go. And I do not feel comfortable at all having a transgender coming in the bathroom. I see a lot of problems there, especially in the military. I would see a lot of problems there. I mean, how many people, here's my question, is going to lie just to go into the opposite's bathroom and say that they're transgender?
Oh, plenty of them, because they want to go in the opposite bathroom, and also they want to get that free sex change. That's the main thing, because that thing right there is not cheap. About $50,000 for a sex change on the low end. So they're trying to get that, and then they'll go through the whole rigmarole, and eventually they'll leave and then move on with their life. And meanwhile, the military left with the bag, left with the bill at the end of the day. And really, it's a taxpayer paying it. And you guys got to deal with it. If you're in the military, you guys got to deal with it. It's a big mess. So it doesn't make any sense from a logical point of view to even do that.
And I agree. And so I don't know how we're going to deal with this. I really don't. Even just going out to now restaurants and everything, it seems like they have more rights than we do. I don't care who you go home to at the end of the day, like you were saying in sports earlier today on your other video before tonight. You know, who you go to bet home, you know, to with is fine. You know, that's none of my business. But, you know, don't come into the bathroom and try to force your ways on me, you know. If I'm looking at you wrong, our country's come to this, and I'm sure you would agree. Our country's come to, like, if you're standing in the bathroom, you look at a transgender wrong or something wrong, you say something wrong, they're going to have more rights coming out of the bathroom screaming that you said something wrong.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate your shows, and I support you all the way.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All righty. The number to call, 434-658-1220. There's also a Skype email in the description box below. You can use that to call in. Be right there in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen talking about whatever's going on. Let's get to the next one. Let's go. Hold on. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony and Sonia. How are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. About yourself?
I'm okay. I'm just sitting here thinking about the transgender stuff. A little bit shocking there.
Yes, a lot happening.
I was thinking, yeah, I know. I was thinking about, for some reason, it's a hypothetical question for you. You know how Kobe Bryant, you know, he passed away before the whole pandemic. And I was always curious what he thought about this women's sports issue, because he was training his girl to be a basketball player, and she was apparently really good in their sport. So I can only wonder, and obviously we'll never know the answer to that, but if you had to guess, do you think he would be down with that, or would he have an issue with a transgender girl competing against his daughter, since he was so involved in the sport even with his own kids, and all he had was girls? That's
a very good question. I think he'd be totally against it. Now, I'm not sure if he would be vocally against it, because that might, he's in LA, California, trying to be in Hollywood and doing different things. But he would be against it because, he, like you said, he's training this girl up to be very good in women's basketball. He would not want to have any of his old teammates' sons try to play against her. That's not fair. Play against the boys if you want to, so, yeah.
Yeah, like Dwayne Wade's kid. Would he want that person to play?
Right. Yeah, let's not do that. I mean, you got a whole Hall of Fame NBA player for a father. So regardless of whether he identifies as whatever, it doesn't matter. He's still Dwayne Wade's son. He could still, go out there and really, show some flashes of greatness if he wanted to. It's just unfair.
And still on him, because I was always curious, because I never really heard a bad thing about him, and I heard he was really involved in the community. So I also thought about what he might have thought about the kneeling. Obviously, he was around when Colin Kaepernick was doing the thing, but I never recalled any opinion that he had about that anthem and the kneeling. Do you remember?
Nah, I don't.
About all that stuff?
Nah, see, Kobe was never really political, as far as I know. He didn't really do a lot of that. His main thing was playing basketball, and that's pretty much it. He wasn't really that much outspoken from what I remember. So, yeah.
Did anybody kneel when Lady Gaga was singing at the inauguration?
That's a good question. I don't think I saw that, but that's a really good question, because that was so popular for a while. Everybody kneeling, and then we can kneel, it's all right. But I didn't see too much of that at the inauguration. That was pretty interesting.
The thing is, let's just put the transgender stuff aside. Let's just pretend that wasn't an issue at all, and they wanted to introduce co-ed bathrooms and locker rooms in the gyms at schools and high schools. I know they do it in colleges, right? They have co-ed stuff, but let's just pretend for the kids under 18. Would anybody have a problem with it then?
Hold on, say it one more time. I kind of missed it.
Forget about transgender. Let's just say they wanted to do a co-ed bathroom, in high schools or locker rooms or whatever. Would anybody have a problem with it then? Because that is the problem. Not that they identify as girls or they dress as girls or they want to be girls. It's like you said in your videos, twig and berries. Hello, It's a danger.
It's a danger, right? I think the issue with the bathrooms would be a problem. If you have men in the bathroom with women, that'd be a problem. Boys and girls in the same bathroom, that'd be an issue. I think what I was saying about how they have in the gas station, where it's a family restroom, where it's like a third option. So if you don't want to go in the boys' room or the girls' room, here's a third option for you. That should be the solution to anything else. Really, is just not right because you're going to have people from different genders in the same restroom at a certain point. If there's any kind of allowing people that identify as whatever to go into the bathroom of their choice, it's just unfair.
It is. And then I wanted to play a little woke game with you real quick. Let's pretend you were in HR and you had to hire somebody and it was a diversity hire or whatever they call it. So they're both equally qualified, resume, education, experience. Are you going to pick the immigrant who has the work visa that is a woman of color, or are you going to go with the American black trans woman?
Wow, that's a great question. Wow. I think I'm gonna get with the man, because I want to hire an American, but at the same time, because it's going to be problems regardless. Like I want to hire an American, that's what I want to do. But at the same time, if you're here legally and you got a green card, I might want to hire you because I'm not going to have as much drama as I am with the transgender. Because with the transgender, you got all kind of things that can happen. You got the EEOC on your back talking about discrimination, and they mess around and get fired. Like, you might hire the trans person and never be able to fire them because of their status.
It gets tricky.
It gets real tricky. Yeah. Very, very tricky. So, I don't know. Give me the green card. Give me the green card. Yep.
Give you the green card.
Because you know
what?
I'll
leave you with this because
it's kind of a lose-lose because I'm not getting the American, but I'm getting the benefit of not having somebody that's going to be, breathing down my neck with the EEOC, unless people that have the non-citizen status get some kind of special treatment, like some kind of civil rights, like what they're trying to do right now, then that's going to be a problem too.
Oh my God, we have to keep such an open mind that our brains are going to fall out. Okay. Now listen real quick. I don't know if you heard about PETA's new statement. I don't know if it's a joke, but I saw it on PETA.org about animal slurs. Check it out for yourself.
Okay, I'll check it out.
All right, take care, y'all. Good night.
All right, now, thank you for the call.
You're welcome. Bye.
Yeah, that was a great question. Yeah, I don't want to have no problems. I want the best person, regardless of what they do. But I know there's gonna be some issues, because I've seen horror stories. Employees, that's and then they want to have the higher minimum wage. Employees can be that's your biggest liability. Workman's comp, EEOC, all types of stuff. Oh, I was discriminated against, sexual harassment, all kind of frivolous stuff that's not even really true. It could be a problem. So give me the person with the least ability to, the least liabilities. The least liabilities is all I want. I don't care about what you are, what your liabilities are. Give me the least amount of them, and then we're good money. That's how I feel. Alrighty, let's get to the next one. And I think we got a trans person in the chat. If you are a trans in the chat, feel free to call. I'm not gonna, it ain't gonna be no weird stuff on the phone. You can be a regular person. If you're trying to call in, let me know what your area code is, or if you're on Skype, let me know what your handle is so I'll be able to identify you. So yeah, if you want to call in and give me your 2 cents, do not be afraid to call. The lines are open, and the number to call is right there on the bottom of the screen, 434-658-1220. And the Skype email is in the description box below. Feel free to use it anytime you want. But let's get to the next one. I call you online. We'll take it to 647.
Hi.
What's happening?
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, hi. It's Aaron from Canada.
All righty. What's going on?
Yeah, hi. So first, I want to thank you for your great show. And I'm here in Canada. I'm originally from Israel. And I want to talk to you about a few subjects. So the first one is about your former president, the great President Trump, who is in Israel. He's really a rock star. He had like 88% approval rate in Israel, and we have a village after him, and we have every city, like few cities have like junctions on the neighbor of him, and we're really sorry that he left. So this is the first thing.
Amazing.
Yeah, he was a great president, and we're really sorry that he left. Second of all, I'm Israeli, and I have a French, and I also a French citizen. So I'm voting in two elections in Israel and in France. it was really weird for me that in the States, the percussion is so loosely. Like in Israel and France, to vote, you must have a passport or identification card only. If you're coming with a driving license, they're not going to let you in. And you can only vote in a place that you register in. So if I registered in Jerusalem, I cannot vote in Haifa or in other city. Or also in France, if I registered in the French embassy, now I'm registered in Toronto, I cannot vote anywhere else. And they check my passport, valid passport. If my passport is up to date, they not let you vote. And in America and also in Canada, you can vote with your gas bill or with, I don't know what, with your phone bill or on post. I have one of my coworkers is American. I asked her, how did you vote? She said, they sent me an envelope and I signed it and I just sent it back. So I asked her, so if I will go to your mailbox, I will take it out, and I know your signature because I found it on the floor. I can vote for whoever I want and send it back. You said yes. So it's crazy how you're allowed to do this in the great democracy in the world.
That's what I'm wondering. That's my exact question. I have the same question because really it's different in different states. Like where I live, you got to have an ID. But over in California, no ID required. Just go in there and say, hey, my name is John Smith. I'm here to vote, and you just vote. That's pretty much how it goes. So it's different upon each state.
So and what's stopping? Let's say the family that normally they don't vote. So and one of the 5 children is really enthusiastic to vote for one party. He can call up to the authorities, ask for 8 ballots, sign for all of his family members, and send it back. How do I avoid that with post mailing? I'm not saying it's just the Democrats, it's just the Republicans, but it's just crazy. In France and in Israel, when you need to vote, you need to go there, and every party can send someone who watch every poll station. So when I came to vote, someone from another party checked my passport, checked my photo, check everything that is in place, and only then I can vote. So I think this is it's crazy. Another topic I want to talk to you, I have another two. So the second one is about CNN and like the media in the States. It's not clear for me, like as an outsider, how come they behave like the North Korean television? Like they so out of like one-sided. It's not like CNN, CNBC, maybe Fox not, but it's crazy. In Israel and France, they try to be objective, but in the States, I don't know how it functions, and it damaged the States. Like people from all around the world used to look in the States as the place of democracy and freedom, and this image is like taken down by the media and the big tech and all these things, which happens with the media censoring everyone and Rodman censoring everyone. Big tech have so much power. I'm personally also investing in AMC and in Nokia, but it's crazy. Last thing I want to talk to you is about Keystone, the pipeline from Canada, which was canceled by President Biden, unfortunately. And one thing that I noticed, my profession is economics, is the two companies that got the most benefit from that is the rail company. And one rail company is CN, and the second one is BNSF, which is American company. And the CN, the majority shareholders there is none other than Mr. Bill Gates, who owns 25% of the rail. And the other company is fully owned by Warren Buffett. It's crazy, he's just taking money for everyone's pockets and put in their pockets, and nobody talk about it, especially not the media. They don't want to investigate anything that he did.
That's right. Absolutely, man. Well, thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Very good call. There's a lot of things happening right in front of your face, and they just do it, and they're like, well, you're not going to look into it. You don't really care, so what? I'm going to just do it in front of your face, and you won't do anything about it. You won't do a thing about it, so what? I'm going to just keep on rocking. Let's get to the next call. 985 here on line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Fabian from Louisiana. Long time watcher, first time caller. How are you this evening?
Everything's good, man. What's going on?
Going good, man. I just got a couple questions. what keeps coming to my mind, keep hearing more and more of these executive orders that Biden is signing, and not one time is anybody calling him a dictator. If this would have been Trump and he would have signed one a day, I mean, would you not say it would be a big old stink? Everybody, trying to overturn. I mean, he didn't even do anything, and they already tried to impeach him. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, that's all facts. Like, you got 42 executive orders and actions in the first 10 days, not even 10 full business days. You're talking about, like, he's signing stuff every day, and there's no way he can read all of them in that amount of time. He doesn't even know what's going on. He's just signing papers. They probably already had it. They probably already had everything done long before. He's just doing it. And if Trump was doing something like that, it would be the barn would be on fire.
Yeah, you stated that fact earlier, and I was like, wow, you're exactly right. There's no way he read them. There's no way he wrote them. I mean, we just seen the video you played. The man even said it. What am I signing? And again, man, Trump would do a fraction of that. You know what I'm saying? These people. I mean, they would already be trying to figure out a way to overturn, the things that he's signing, and ain't nobody giving this man any resistance. It's just crazy. That's what's most crazy to me.
Exactly. I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, man. Hey, well, look, I appreciate you taking my call. I'm not going to take up much of your time, man, and love your show. Keep doing what you're doing, and you always got my support, ABL.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Have a good night.
Yeah, like I said, you got 42 orders and actions, not even 10 full business days. Everything, all of what he's doing, like I said before, like I was saying, if he was to get elected before the election happened, it would not be him governing. It would be those that are behind the scenes. They just trot him out there. He's just like, all right, we just take you out here, put you in front of the camera. You talk for a little bit, sign some papers, blank piece of paper, don't matter. This is all just for the cameras. Just do that and go back to your room, get some applesauce, and lay down. That's how they do this guy. All right, caller on Skype. Can you hear me?
Hey, this is Al from Washington. How are you?
Doing pretty good, man. About yourself?
Very good, very good. So just wanted to chime in on two quick issues. The first one was the earlier caller had asked about, where does the BLM money come from? And the first thing you have to understand is BLM is actually under something called Thousand Currents. And so Thousand Currents is actually a 501c corporation. So that's the one that can take donations into it. So money goes into what's called Thousand Currents, and the executive owner of Thousand Currents is Salome Lema. She's actually the one that pretty much handles the director. So she's officially the executive director, and she manages most of the money. So when you give to 1,000 Currents, they actually have a number of organizations in their portfolio that they donate to. And so then that goes out to the BLM chapters, actually globally. So BLM is actually a global organization. They have chapters everywhere from Japan to England, France, pretty much you name it. In major countries, there's a BLM chapter there, as well as U.S. cities and areas. So, you have to follow the money. You'd have to actually go into 1,000 Currents. That's where the money goes. So that's where the IRS will look to get the report from. So when you audit it, they began that relationship in 2016 when reportedly BLM came to 1,000 Currents and said, we would like you to manage our money. And so what that means is they actually sign an operating agreement with 1,000 Currents. 1,000 Currents then says, okay, we'll manage everything for you. And that includes the legal, the reporting requirements, your paperwork, IRS filings, all of that. And then they distribute the funds to BLM. And then once those funds are distributed, then it can move through. And it actually, it's simplifying it somewhat. There's a couple more steps in there, but that if people want to follow the money, that's where you follow the money. And so Salome Lema is actually the executive director for 1,000 Currents. She's the money manager, so to speak, for all the donations that come in, and then distributes that, most of it to Black Lives Matter, but some of it will go to some other organizations and they promote globally. So that was your earlier caller had asked about that. So I just thought I'd want to chime in with that one so she can, do her deep dive and figure out, okay, well, this is where the money goes. This is what gets reported, and doing whatever open source she can to figure out, okay, this is how much actually gets spent and where it is spent. So I thought I'd help out with that one. The other thing I wanted to say was on your information about the transgender issue. The first thing that people have to understand is that the women's sports is actually covered under something called Title IX. and that was signed back in 1972. And it gave women the right to equal opportunity in sports because it considered sports actually an educational opportunity. And so as part of equal access to education, equal access under the law, Title IX was actually signed in there to allow women equal access to that. And so federal dollars would go to organizations that sponsored women's sports, or any sport would have to be able to offer equal access to women for those sports. And what we're finding now is that there's actually a backlash. I don't know if it's really getting reported in the press, but there's actually a problem with that when we put transgenders in there, because it is actually creating a situation where women are now being discouraged from engaging in competitive sports. So we're denying them equal access to the sports because they're getting blown out, so to speak. They can't make the team. They can't make the cuts, because if you fill up a team with, you can only have 5 people qualify, on a sports team, so to speak, like in a track and field event. I can only budget 5 people in there. That's all filled with transgender. I've just denied biologically born women the access to that sport, right, which is considered under Title IX as an educational opportunity. So I've denied women, biologically born women, equal access to an educational opportunity under Title IX. So this will go into some circuit courts and probably end up in the Supreme Court. So even though Biden has done it in an executive order, there's some legal road bumps, speed bumps ahead, where this will probably get challenged on that aspect. And one other thing that I don't think anybody's talking about, there is a lot of data that comes out about competitive women's sports, everything from high school, elementary school, high school on up. Women that are participatory in competitive sports, much like men, actually outperform or do much better in the real world. They tend to be CEOs disproportionately. They'll go into CEOs, boardrooms. They start small businesses and are successful. If they go into the military, they actually will outperform at times. So sports is not just for sport alone. It actually instills within people that do competitive sports, just that competition. You can lose, but you got to come back. You got to work hard for something and go into it. When we discourage women from participating in sports, what we're actually doing is we are denying them or inhibiting them those skill sets which they'll be able to take out into the boardrooms, which they'll be able to become successful, business owners, workforce leaders, even political leaders. So really what this has done in order to get, whatever type of political thing that Biden wanted, we're really inhibiting the ability of women to get skill sets, equal access to education, get these skill sets, get these life skills that will help them be successful, not just on the playing field, but in the boardrooms across the country. And that's a very bad thing that needs to be looked at. It's not something that should be given frivolously. So anyway, thank you for your time. I just wanted to get that out there, and I do appreciate your show. You're doing great work.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
All righty, bye.
That was a great call. Excellent call. I didn't think about that part, how they can gain these skills when you're playing competitive sports among other women, and you go on to a higher level, and you have a good coaching and whatnot, and you're also, at the same time a student, and you're learning that way, and you go on to have success in your life. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a whole lot of sense. But then when you have biological men that are in the mix, taking your spot, and, it's kind of demoralizing, that can be a problem. So that was a very good call. Great call. Excellent call. All right, Skype caller, who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, this is Brian.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Hey, I actually called in Wednesday and we talked about the transgender issue, and I happened to hear the lady who called in, I guess about 2-3 calls ago, was concerned about, whether her kids should, sign up and join the military now, depending on what the culture is. I've been out since right around 2011. So, I've been out a while. I'm not, don't have firsthand knowledge from being in anymore, but I do, stay active with the community, through vet groups and everything. So I do hear what went on, but I can talk as far as my experience and what changed from 2003 to when I got out in 2011. There's an old saying that the military just generally reflects society in a very small group, and I believe that that's a very true statement. When I went in, basic training was still a lot of getting cussed at, We didn't get beat or anything like that, no Full Metal Jacket stuff, but we, got cussed at, run around, people vomiting from running, hard. But we were never mistreated. We were always taken care of. It was what I expected when I came in. When I got to my unit, within the first year or so, all of a sudden we're doing all sorts of equal opportunity training, sexual assault training, and I never really paid a whole lot of attention to it at first because I was just a dumb private. But as I was in for a few years, became a non-commissioned officer, and was tasked with taking care of some of these trainings, it became very evident that there was almost more of a focus on going over PowerPoint presentations with people about, well, February's Black History Month, and then we have March or whatever being Hispanic History Month, and by the way, Sergeant First Class so-and-so is going to talk to you about the fiesta that we're going to have all week and the DFAC or whatever. And it's a huge part of it. And kind of like I mentioned with the readiness part on the Wednesday show, that's a tracked slide that commanders have to brief battalion commanders, and they brief their hires on it. So if it's read and people aren't done, they're getting yelled at. So it's pushed so hard, make everybody sign in. Everybody has to be here for it. As far as how that affects the culture, everyone that I've talked to, we all agree, if you want to serve. The country needs people that want to serve the country and be selfless in that way. There's absolutely no reason not to. The best advice that I've seen, and I wish I would have had someone tell me this, is the best thing you can do, just like in civilian life. If you can get into the NFL, you get into the NFL. If you can get into the service and get into a special group, do it, because that culture is focused on the mission. They're focused on the people. The regular Army is just like being in any Joe Schmo McDonald's job. It's focused on conformity and just checking the box. So anyone listening, please, we need people to serve our country and to do whatever they can. And if you can't do it in the military, do it in your local government or something. But do whatever you can in either area to get into a special group.
Very well said, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
All righty. Got a few more calls on the line, of course. The number to call, 434-658-1220. There's also the email for Skype in the description box below, so you could be right there in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen like my man was. And also, if you're listening to this on your favorite audio streaming platform, please give me a 5-star rating or review, whatever you can over there. And if you're not familiar with the show being on other audio-only platforms, there's a link for that in the box below. This show will be available on Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. And again, a link for that will be in the description box below. If you want one of these beautiful flags right here that are right behind my head, you can go to BHE Designs, and the link for that will be in the box below as well. All right, let's get to some more. Let's go. 712, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, you're speaking to Al. Hey, ABL. Talked to you Wednesday. Hey, you talked to me, and we talked Wednesday, and I was talking to you a little bit about Gamestop. And let me give you congratulations on, basically, I thought you explained the short sale excellent on your video that you did.
Oh, thank you.
Explaining it, because my wife was trying to understand it, and after you explained it, and she was kind of listening to something or reading something else, she understood it completely. So that was great for you to do that. Now I just want to touch bases here about a little bit about the what's going on in the markets here. And I mean, we've seen a drop down. I was a little bit. I was involved in it. I'm still involved in it. So I mean, I looked at when I first got in it, it was like, okay, if I lose $300-400, I lose $300-400 because they short the market so much. You know, you explained that well. People want to look at your video. You know, and they're keep shorting it, so they're forcing, you know, basically, you could almost say mom and pop shops out, just like the shutdown did and everything like that. And it's going to continue for a while. Now, the big thing is that when they talk about the hedge funds, let me give you a qualification for hedge funds. Number one, you have to make at least $250,000 or more. That's number one. Number two, you have to have over $1 million of liquid assets available, okay? Not counting your home. So if you have a mansion or a little shack like Bernie Sanders, you know, he can use his other two homes. That's liquid assets. So just to give you that perspective on it. And then number three, there's certain hedge funds that basically you have to leave the money there. When you put that money into their hedge fund, you're locked in. They got like maybe a grace period to get in there, like maybe a month or whatever. They have different rules that they can do. And then once you put your money in there, I mean, you and I ain't going to do it, not yet. But once you put your money in there, it's locked for a whole year. So you can't really just go in there and say, I need it out. You can't do that. Unless there's a special, who knows, on that. Especially if you were like a George Soros or something like that. So I just want to just touch bases on that real fast here. People, you asked me the question, and I did want to answer that question. I didn't quite know how to answer it, but now after I've kind of seen what the stock market has done recently, because I asked you about, I told you about the silver and gold being suppressed. Now,
yeah,
silver and gold basically got with this going on, you got a lot of people that might have been in shorts like, okay, we don't want to be caught in this. But did you notice yesterday silver prices jumped quite a bit? Now, I want to kind of tell you a little bit about silver. A lot of people might not know. Silver is probably one of the best conductors of any type of metal. And I mean by conducting electricity. What is Joe Biden and the Green New Deal want to push? They want to push solar panels. There's roughly almost an ounce per solar panel. And they want to produce electric cars. There's some good batteries that have silver in it. So, and even the car itself has silver. Okay? So you asked me a specific question. I want to get back with you on that answer. I believe this is a good time to have a little bit of silver. At least if you have physical silver. Don't go with that paper crap. Have a little bit of silver. Hey, it's right now, it's like $30 right now, okay? Give or take. So, in my point of view, there's also other things with silver that I want to explain to people too. Back in the old days, when sailors used to go across the ocean, you couldn't drink the seawater, right? So they had barrels of water. Well, how'd they keep the barrels of water from basically getting, stinky and all that like that? They used to throw silver dollars in there. Okay, so if we ever came to a point where you had to catch your own rainwater and try to keep your water kind of purified, just look it up. If you put silver in it, it helps. Okay, and even your water filters have a little bit of silver in there. Any water filters that have I'm just trying to give you an explanation for filters for silver.
I got you.
So yes, I believe silver's been depressed for so many years that I believe we're going to see a big raise. And there's also the asset class. It becomes an asset. You can use it as trading too later on. If the shit hits the fan, excuse my language, but if that happens, so you have a little bit of a barter system. In case. I mean, look what's going on. What Biden's doing, shutting down jobs, and then he's going to create new jobs, and then yet he's going to we're going to go basically shut down the petroleum, and then also that's going to jump prices for oil and gas.
Right.
I know that. I mean, it's simple. And then once you start shutting all these jobs down, and then he's going to create this 8 million more jobs, well, you're destroying your economy.
Right.
So everybody's got to try to kind of look at the whole picture, kind of get prepared for it. Hope to God we never see that. And then, of course, with the dollar being printing so much, people will eventually see, okay, inflation's going up. I don't care what the Fed says. The Fed says it's only going up 2.3% or 3%. We all know it's going up more than that. So that dollar is becoming worthless. It's going to be gone. And I'm just trying to explain that, there's 1,000 hedge funds out. There was over 1,000 hedge funds in 2018. Now there's less than 10,000. There's over 10,000. Now there's less than 10,000. Now, this is going to be a big domino effect. If this keeps continuing, which I believe it will, because there's a lot of people out there like, what the hell?
Right.
For me to buy one stock for $25, so what? I'm willing to lose that 25. Now remember, when you're shorting, look
I'm sorry,
up
I got limited time on the call. I'm sorry, I had to get to the next one here.
You bet, ABL, but I try to explain it real fast. But
I got you, man.
You asked me a question, and I told you my answers. I believe it's going to go up.
Okay, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the call.
You bet.
That's a great call. Definitely have physical silver. I always hear that. I hear silver, gold. Those are important to have. Because they have industrial property. Even if things are getting crazy, they have industrial property you can use versus paper dollars. I think that the main thing right now that you got to understand is paper dollars. If you have that, try to have that not really be there. What Grant Cardone say? Cash is trash. Yes and no. It's good to have money because you need money to get other things, but don't just have your money sitting there. If you have any money, any STEMI money, you don't need it for whatever reason, put it in the stock market. Put it on, some things that can actually increase in value to have that money work for you rather than just sitting there doing nothing. You got interest rates low, like next to zero. You can't even put it in the bank, even if you get a dividend on your money. You're not really getting that much money just having it sitting there in the bank. You could have $100,000 in the bank and get like $10 on your. That's nothing. But I digress. Let's get to some more calls. 786 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how are you?
Doing pretty good. About yourself?
Pretty good. Thanks for taking my call. I'm a new listener, and I thought it'd be a good time to talk because I'm going through very surreal times with Robin Hood and the news and everything. I actually used to date one of the CEOs from Robin Hood. Lived in New York a few years back, and I actually met him in a bar. And
hold on. Let's pause. Let's pause for a minute. Go back. You said you used to date one of the guys that is a CEO, or what? Say it one more time, please.
Yes, I used to date one of the CEOs from Robin Hood, and I know them pretty well. I know Vlad and Beju. I haven't talked to them for a while, but I know who they are as people, and just crazy to see them all over the news. I was there when their whole company started. I know what they intended with that company. I know people change over time, but I can tell you they did start that company to help people on Main Street. They came from nothing. They worked really hard. They're really, really smart. They're really good at math. And actually looking back, when I had met them, they had just dropped out of Stanford. They had a teacher that was like pushing them towards finance, and they got involved with some like weird, shady people through that teacher. And I'm like looking back, and I'm like, it's just interesting. There's like almost like a pipeline from like Stanford to Wall Street with like teachers that are maybe a little bit exploitive. And I don't know, I'm looking back at all this and I'm like, I feel like some other people were pressuring them. Definitely other people are pressuring them to like manipulate the situation because I know they probably want a free market.
Okay. Yeah. So now when you knew them, when you were around them, were they the kind of guys that would try to do some like underhand, sneaky type stuff, or it just kind of like just regular guys? Like what was your impression of them when you were around them?
Like so freaking smart that they're like almost autistic. They're but they mean well. Like they're just like mathematical geniuses. I would say, like finance guys, it's weird. Like I would say they care about people, but there is like a little bit of almost autism there, if you know what I mean. Like they had a cat that they got rid of very kind of coldly, for example. If that makes any sense.
I understand what you mean. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's just weird. Like, I feel like you could even like check for yourself. One of them, Beju, I think he's like even a Ron Paul supporter. So it's kind of crazy. I think he might even be a libertarian. Like if you look at his Twitter, he has like a meme of Ron Paul. So that kind of tells you like what kind of person he really is. So I feel like there's definitely like other forces at play here. So it's just kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think
they
that's what's
could
going.
have changed though. They could have changed. It's possible, but he posted a Ron Paul thing in like 2018. So.
Yeah, I think you might be right because when you're talking about these hedge funds and billions of dollars would it be at a certain point, if you're just a guy that you're good at math and you want to do the best thing, those things are kind of above your head. You're dealing with a whole different level of institution, and you might not even really be in control of that part of it because it was not just Robinhood that had the problem with stopping some of the stocks. It was Webull, I think TD Ameritrade. So it wasn't just them. This is a whole problem with the industry, period. They're just kind of caught up in it. And I think when the one guy went on TV and was talking, he's not really able to even articulate what's happening because he may not even really be aware of all of what's going on. Like you were saying, they're super smart, but how smart are they? They understand math and they're good at that, but do they understand all the ins and outs of what's happening with the industry that's beyond them?
Probably not, and there's for sure other people involved because like they did not really start that company by themselves. Of course, it takes like so much to just like even get to where they got, and they're of course they have to be answering to people, and who knows? Like I know that they have young kids too. I don't know if they've been getting threats or what, so who knows? Wow. But I know what type of people they are, and they are definitely, at least Beiju, I know him better than Blood, is like definitely free market kind of guy for sure. Absolutely. Like the free market is what helped him get to where he's at,
Wow.
Or the seemingly free market.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, that's amazing. Well, thank you for calling in. I definitely appreciate you.
No problem. Take care. Thank you.
All right, no problem.
Bye-bye.
Wow, that was a great call. I tend to believe her. I mean, just to say so you guys understand where I'm at with the call, you can never know if you're being trolled or if they're honest. But I think she was honest. That's just my opinion. But I have no way of being able to prove that, of course. You got somebody calling in. I can't verify, but that's just my opinion. Now, it's up to you whether you want to believe it or not. But what she was saying about them kind of being autistic a little bit, so smart they're artistic, that kind of made sense because when he was on TV talking, I kind of got some of that. Super smart guy, but is he really able to understand all the intricacies and the ins and outs? And is he able to understand all that? Is he even privy to know all of that? That's a good question. All right, Valentine, what's going on?
Anthony, talk to me, brother. How you feeling?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Anonymous sources tell me Antifa to be nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize for promoting peace and unity throughout the world. Can you believe that?
You know what? At this particular point in time, I believe anything like that. If you were to tell me that and be serious, I'd be like, yep, that makes sense.
But it does. And that's the crazy thing about it, right? So that means like the Nobel Peace Prize really doesn't mean anything. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because I only been in politics since like 2016 and on. Didn't Obama get a Nobel Peace Prize for like being black?
Well, pretty much.
Why did he get it? Do you know why? Like, when did he get it? Supposedly,
I don't even know.
Crazy, man. Yo, listen, you were talking about the whole LGBT situation, right? And you were talking about women getting pregnant in jail, etc. Right? I was just reading a book. Thank God I've never been to jail. I don't know what the jail culture is, and I don't want to know, and I don't want to find out either, right? I'm reading a book, or I read it actually, called American Prison, and it talks about the craziness that go on in jail and the sexual activity that goes on in jail with men having, sex with men and guards and all that you were talking about. In 2019 in Argentina, I'm gonna tell you right now, Argentina is massively, when I mean massively leftist. It's amazing. They have these transgender everything like in the United States they have these leftists and all that. They they have the whole transgender movement. So a guy by the name of Gabriel, this was in 2019, committed a crime. He auto-identified. He changed his sex. He went from Gabriel to Gabriela, transgender. He's a transgender woman. He was in jail already. They took him from the male side of the prison and they put him into the female side of the prison, with like you said, he still had all his berries in there, right? What do you think happened when he was in there?
Oh, you're talking about just assaults right away, instantly.
He impregnated a prisoner.
Man, oh
I mean,
man.
like it's like what do you expect? Like, I mean, it's logical to you and to me, Anthony, and to a whole bunch of people watching, but it's like you have a man that has sexual desires and you're gonna put him with women. And guess why they even put him in jail in the first place? They put him in jail for what they call in Argentina violence against gender. So it's just basically violence against women, and they put him on the women's jail. Could you believe that craziness?
That's the worst possible place. Like you're in jail for violence against women, and it's like, okay, we'll lock you up with women. It's like, come on, man, this is the dumbest thing you could have ever done.
But this is the world we live in now, right? Black Lives Matter getting Nobel Peace Prize. We get men getting put in jail with women. I mean, boys taking over female sports in high school, etc., and going into the locker rooms and all that. We are living in La La Land, and it's insanity, man. Changing gears here a little bit, and I'll leave you with this. Do you know, does the name Roaring Kitty say anything to you?
Roaring Kitty? No, I've not heard of that.
Roaring Kitty, he has a YouTube channel. This is the guy responsible for the internet side of the whole Wall Street bets thing. This guy was promoting Gamestop like 5 months ago. This guy got $1 million through this whole thing, and the name says it all. Roaring Kitty, bro. A guy he's a white guy in a basement in Boston with a bandana and glasses, man. And this guy's been talking about.
I saw him. I didn't know his name, but I saw him. Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's Roaring Kitty, man. That the myth and the legend, bro. Anthony, have a good weekend, man. Take care, man, and thanks for always taking my call. Keep doing what you do, brother.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Peace.
Yeah, I did see that guy, Roaring Kitty. I didn't know what his name is, and he looks like a Roaring Kitty. He looks like his name. The name fits. When you see him, you be like, yeah, okay, I expected that. All righty, Skype caller, what's going on?
Oh, hello. I've been trying to get through to you all night.
All righty, what's happening?
I have you turned down. Can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening, ABL.
All righty, what's happening?
Lord to God is here Here's what I heard. How are you this evening?
Everything's good, can't complain.
It's been a while.
Yes, indeed.
I just basically called in to give you my take on the transgender type of thing. I actually at one time considered myself a feminist, but only like second generation. Now it's up to 4 or 5 now. And as an actual feminist, if you will, the fact that just any swinging twig and berries, as you put it, can put on a dress and claim to be one of us and then take away our rights bothers me.
Yeah, I totally understand, because it's just not right. Some things should be left for women. You have women's sports, women's spaces, that should be for women. I don't see what's wrong with that. And to have men just interfere regardless of how they identify is wrong.
Well, I can't think of anything that's more what do they call it? Patriotic?
Patriarchy,
no, not
yeah.
Patriotic. Patriarchy. Yeah, I can't think of any more patriarchal than to claim to be a female and then just wipe us away.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly what's going on.
And they're never going to go through any of the stuff that we go through. And then, of course, walking around seeing pregnant men, too. That was odd. And, I'm actually a live and let live type of person. I really don't care what you do behind closed doors. I don't care who you go home to. You live your life, I'll live my life. But a lot of these people aren't just living their lives. They're affecting a lot of other people and ruining other people's lives, from what I can tell.
That's right.
That's not right.
Exactly. That's right, but it's not right.
That was just my 2 cents. That's the biggest thing I have about that. And, of course, actually, one of the things that's starting to scare me now, I don't know if you've talked about this because I have missed a few of your shows lately. Sorry about that. But this thing about deprogramming folks that used to that voted for a particular orange person.
Yeah. That's a new wave. They want to try to deprogram us, say that, it take a while to deprogram them, be very difficult to do it. It's like, no, I don't need to be deprogrammed. Just fine. Thank you. Appreciate it, though.
Yeah. It's like I always say, they basically gave this man way more power than he ever had. I mean, it's almost superstitious. It's almost like as if they think that this man could just lift up his arm, say something, and it's just going to happen. It's like, no.
That's not how it works. Not at all.
I'm glad. I'm actually glad that they're underestimating us at this point, because that's going to be their demise, I believe.
It's like a sleeping giant. You're seeing this as just like brainwashed buffoons and idiots, but they don't understand who we are and our intelligence level and what we're actually able to do. So that's fine. You can sleep on us for now, and then you'll see. It'll be okay.
Oh yeah, I'm not worried. I'm not that worried yet. But like I say, there's more and more people talking about it on that side. I'm just glad a lot of them are not in charge. However, if you want to connect you want to call him a dictator that we have in office right now?
Yeah, he signed 42 executive orders. That's what that sounds like to me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, as I say, at that point, anything's possible. And by the way, to any of the people in your chat I've talked to you before, and I've read the chats before. No, I'm not trans.
Yeah, don't even read that, because the chat, they're wild, and they're great, but sometimes it's just don't even worry about that. It's all right.
Well, not that it's anybody's business, but no, I'm not trans, and yes, I'm actually quite upset. I'm a large woman. Yes, I'm 6 foot tall, and I've got a singer's voice. That's the only thing. I've been mistaken for trans before, but it's like I don't think so.
Right, because you're just tall.
Only when I wear high colors.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So anyway, yeah, I just wanted to get my. Thank you for allowing me to get that off my chest. I've said that to my husband on several occasions.
Right. I'm glad you're able to get it out there for sure. Absolutely.
Okay. Thanks for taking my call. Have a great week.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Good night.
All right. Great call. Great call. Yeah, y'all are wild. Nah, she's a woman. It's all right though. But I've seen tall women like that, and it's just one of those things. It's like abnormal. Yeah, great caller, excellent caller, great person too. All right, so let's get some more calls here. Let's go. 512, you're on the line. We're speaking to.
You can call, don't.
Hello?
Yes, caller. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Justin out of Texas. ABL. Been watching for a long time. First time caller.
All right, man. What's going on?
Not much, man. Me and my wife are just here watching it live, and I had a question for you. So I heard that Fauci has stock in the vaccine, and I wanted to know do you know if that's true or not, and if so, how is that legal?
I don't know about that. All I do know is that he was pushing remdesivir early on, but that's not the vaccine. As far it's like a therapeutic. I think the vaccine is Pfizer. It's from Pfizer, and also I forget the other one, but it's two ones that are out there. One of them's from Pfizer. But as far as Fauci having stock in it, I don't know about that. It's possible. I know that his team was working on it, but I don't know about him having stock in it. That's a good question, though.
So if he did, though, let's say he did, for argument's sake, would it be legal?
I think that it would be legal. I'm not really sure why it would be illegal. I mean, maybe it could be considered immoral potentially, but I'm not really sure about illegal.
I just figured conflict of interest, since he's definitely pushing the vaccine on the American people, and then he would be benefiting from it.
That's a good point. That could be a conflict, and so he may not. He might not be able to do that, but I'm not really sure about the legality of it. That's a good question.
Well, hey, AB, I really appreciate it. Me and my wife are watching, and I appreciate it, man. Thanks, and keep it up.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
All right. So yeah, thank you to the caller. And yeah, I was saying Pfizer and also Moderna. That's the other vaccine, Moderna. Somebody says that he owns the patent. I've not heard that, so I can't really say yay or nay on that one. And they say Johnson and Johnson. Does Johnson and Johnson have the rights to the Moderna? Yeah, I don't know. Shout out to AN1. AN1 says supposedly Fauci has vested interest in Moderna along with Gates. Okay. I have to look into it to see exactly what's going on. But if you ask me, I don't know. Let's get to some more here. Let's go. Okay, let's try 661. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's going on, ABL?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Hey, what's up? This is Martin from Colorado. I just wanted to call and kind of touch base on the whole, BLM being nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, and I just want to know who in their right minds wanted to nominate BLM, and if so, that whole committee should be fired, because I think they forget about how Donald Trump, one of the best presidents in the entire America, he was the first sitting president to touch ground in North Korea, and he didn't even get nominated for that,
Well, I mean, I think it was just one guy that was able to do it, this Norwegian member of parliament. So I don't know if there was like a team behind them that was, giving them advice, but I wouldn't be surprised if there were more people that would want to support it, because people that are not really on the ground with us, just regular people, they think that BLM is great. They think it's excellent, it's fantastic, and it's going to be, but once you actually out there and you see in the reality away from what the mainstream media wants to show you, you realize how it's destructive and not actually a good thing. But they don't really care too much about that. They just run with whatever they believe in their mind and whatever they've been told that they want to believe.
Yeah, it's it is saddening to see that, because it just shocked me. I was like, how is it, Donald Trump was able to be the first sitting president to do that, and the whole media didn't even they probably paid it attention for maybe 2-3 days, and then all of a sudden they washed it out the water. But and then the whole thing with Joe Biden, oh gosh, he's like the most weakest president that I think we have at the moment, and it's like I don't know how I can continue to support this guy, but if he wants to keep continuing with the whole identity politics, he might as well be a transgender himself to keep the flow going.
That's right. You're right about that.
Yeah. So, and then one of the last things I want to touch up on is, and I'm sure you've been asked before, but you ever thought about running?
Yeah, I mean, I get a question a lot. I think that I'm gonna have to eventually, because if enough of you guys keep saying, "Hey, you need to go out there, you need to run, you need to do it," then I run. If it made sense, I definitely would.
Oh yeah. I definitely think you should run, ABL. You got my support. You got the support of all on your channel, and you keep doing what you're doing. God bless you, my brother.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, great call. Victor, what's happening?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
No problem, man. I see you in the bunker for real.
Man, yeah, man. I hope I was getting a pardon, but
it didn't
I
work
understand.
out.
Yeah, I understand. But you know who else didn't get a pardon?
Who's that?
The drill rapper Rondo Number 9. Have you heard of him?
Oh yeah, I heard about that. He was saying F Trump. He didn't give me your pardon. It's like, hey man, it wasn't in the cards for you, man. Sorry.
Yeah. So for people who don't know who he is, Rondo Number 9. He's a Chicago rapper. He's the associate of 600 Breezy. Basically, he is a BD from the 600 block. He's in jail because he killed a cab driver, thinking that he was a rival gang member, and he expected to get out. He expect pardon to let him out.
Nah, if you kill somebody, like a murder on your belt, nah, that ain't really gonna happen, sir.
Yeah, and thing is, I mean, you think Donald Trump really know who is Rondo number 9? Like seriously?
He has no idea. He doesn't know who anybody is, really. He's being brought these people by people in his team and saying, hey, this is a good case. And people are advocating for these people to get out, but anybody trying to say, hey, you know what? There's a guy that killed a cab driver. You should get out of jail. Nobody's going to say that ever.
Yeah. And also, I mean, he would have been big if he didn't kill that that cab driver. But he was on the rise when he did that. I mean, and no one doesn't talk about him anymore. I mean, people talk more about L.A. Capone, who's been dead since 2012, I believe.
Yeah.
Than they talk about Rondo number 9. Yeah. So anyway, I am trying to recover from vertigo after listening to the press secretary.
Yeah. Well, circle back. It's like, man, I'm like a dreidel right now. I'm spinning all around.
Yeah, man. I can't believe that I get vertigo and dizziness from listening to a press secretary. So, also, thank you for your video on the Keystone Pipeline. I didn't quite understand what was it all about, but you did bring a little bit understanding about it.
Yeah, man, the whole thing is crazy.
Yeah, first time I heard about the Keystone Pipeline was, I believe, in 2016 or 15, when I was listening to a hip hop radio show on Sunday morning between a liberal black man and a conservative black man. They got into the topic of the Keystone Pipeline. The liberal black man, he sounded very convincing, but I knew that something was kind of off because he kept saying that build this Keystone Pipeline to get oil and they're going to ruin your rivers and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that sounds fine, but there's something really wrong. But then you mentioned in your video how it's not the oil, it's the people who was protesting and threw their trash in the environment that messed up everything.
It sure did. It was a natural disaster right there. They had so much trash and filth and they just left it. It's like, man, this is worse than, like, almost the equivalent to an oil spill. This is crazy.
Yeah, and what you brought up is what people are not talking about when it comes to climate change. And it is maintenance of the environment. They don't talk about that at all. Why do you think that there is a lot of wildfire in California? It's because they do not want to cut down the trees. Those trees are dead. When I bought my home, my wife and we got rid of 3 trees. One tree that was dead, another tree that was on the verge of dying, another tree that grew so big that it grew over the power line, and our neighbors told us that it'd been caught on fire multiple times.
Wow.
Just think that if we don't do that maintenance, especially with those 2 trees that's dead on the verge of dying, where we don't cut them down, if we don't take care of the maintenance, nature will. And that's why you have those wildfires. If people could go back to that vice president debate, Mike Pence grilled Kamala Harris on that issue about the forest maintenance.
Right, sure did.
Yeah. And last thing I want to talk about is the minimum wage.
Okay.
How they talked about, $15 an hour, it can help people get out of poverty. I would say, yes, it's true if you could get hired.
Right. If you get hired, if you get the hours, if things don't raise in price to compensate for the higher minimum wage, maybe.
Yeah. They don't even talk about that. It's that big if. If they hire you, and we can see in places like Walmart, Because I saw this in some Targets too, how they're hiring less people and putting in more self-checkouts. And it goes back to how people are talking, especially the people who supporting this whole the Great Recess, which is we want equality, we want economic equality. When they fail to realize you can never get economic equality because jobs are different and how we work is different. It's always going to be inequality when those differences. If you really want true equality, base your equality on the dignity of being a person. And when you base that equality on the dignity of being a person, then you could put in rules and regulations to make it equal for everyone to compete and gain something. But if you base it on things like what you do or how you feel or how you perform, it's not going to be equal whatsoever.
That's right, man. Right on it, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks to my man Victor for the call and the dungeon background. Always appreciate it. Yeah, the minimum wage, that's a non-starter though, really. People don't understand. Where I live, there's a Walmart with no cashiers. You know, they have people in there like at the self-checkout. All they do is just direct you. It's like traffic directors. You can go right there. It's a free one. It's card only or cash only. They tell you that, but ain't nobody ringing you up. There's no cashiers at all. No ringing you up. It's all self-checkout entirely. Okay? It's a guy at the front door, like lurching in there, just, ain't doing nothing, just chilling. It's like two people in a little self-checkout area helping you with self-checkout if something don't go right or whatever. But there's no actual registers anywhere. Zero registers, all self-checkout. That's the future. And you keep raising the cost of hiring actual human beings, there's going to be more of that. That's how it goes. When the cost of human labor becomes very high, automation becomes cheaper in relation. Because if the human person costs less than automation, you stick with the human person. But then when human people become the equivalent or higher than automation, it makes sense to just automate. And then there's no dealing with the liabilities of a human being. EEOC, workman's comp, you sick, you got the virus. Machine will never get sick, will never talk about racism or discrimination or anything of the sort. They won't want a raise, they won't want paid time off. It's a machine. All you got to do is perform maintenance on it, and that's it. And you got a contract with a guy for some years to perform maintenance on it. Not one guy, but a whole company. That's how it's going to go. All right. So let's get some more calls here. Nippin, what's happening, boss? Nippin, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Nippin, what's going on?
Oh, I'm online.
You're live, man.
Oh, I was clicking and clicking and clicking. Think I would never get on, but hey, sorry, I got too carried away in my other music and stuff. But yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, it's all good, man. What's happening?
So, apparently Joe Biden thinks he is the most powerful person in the world now.
That's what he believes.
People that voted him in.
Right.
You do realize he is not going to win a second term if he sees his first term out.
Yeah, he's not. I think he knows that too. I think he doesn't even really care. I think he might not even make it throughout this one term without having to step down.
Yeah, about the last time I tried calling in, my computer completely gave up on me.
Oh, it's all right, man. It's all good.
But yeah, I believe 42 executive orders.
Right.
Undoing all the hard work that Trump put in. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Right.
And if memory serves me correctly, the Nobel Peace Prize has been given to Antifa.
Well, I'm not sure about that one. I think that it could happen.
If it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me in the slightest.
Not at all.
Because I mean, what are these clowns smoking? Thinking that we're just gonna give this peace prize to a bunch of terrorists.
Yeah,
Because that's what Antifa are, terrorists.
Yeah, I think Black Lives Matter is the one that got nominated. I'm not really sure about Antifa, but either way, same thing.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that they played a huge part in rigging the election for Joe Biden.
Well, yeah, I mean, they play a large part in just damaging the nation to, just for no real reason. Helping Joe Biden, of course, yes, but just for no other real reason.
And yeah, I've been saying I've seen so many posts on a lot of conservative websites and saying I've always said, look, we've lost this, albeit in a horrible, cheated way, but we still lost. Now we just have to focus on 2022 and then the election in 2024. But deep down, I actually have a feeling that Biden has completely effed. I'm not going to say the full word because I don't want to get cancelled.
That's right.
Has completely effed your nation for at least the next decade.
Well, I don't know if I will say that, but I definitely think it's a setback from where we were going. But I think this could be turned around. It just
because
takes
think about it. Think about it. The Commie-crats now control both the House and the Senate.
Yes.
It will make it really difficult. It'll see, so Commie Biden has everything behind him, no matter how unfair it might be to us.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot he has going in his favor for sure.
But there's one thing we still have, and that's the Supreme Court, and long may that continue.
Now they're gonna try to pack the court, and hopefully that doesn't happen. But that's going to be a lofty goal to try to do that because that's going to require.
I just hope there are some swing Democrats who can help us.
Yeah, I think that maybe like a Joe Manchin might help every now and again.
I hope. I am praying that Joe Manchin helps when it comes to Supreme Court appointments.
Yeah, definitely.
In voting no, that is.
Right.
Because I know Joe Biden will try and choose a social justice warrior. But yeah, he is not fit to be president. I do not trust him in the slightest. And I'm actually scared that he will either he will, God forbid, I don't wish death upon anyone, but he is getting old. But either he will, God forbid, die, and Kamala Harris will become the president, or he will resign, knowing that he won't get re-elected. Kamala Harris becomes the president. She runs for election, wins, and then runs for re-election. And then, you see, if that happens, normal people like you and me are completely effed for the next decade.
I think that we'll be able to take it back because it's like a cycle. It always happens. You know, you have the Democrats, then Republicans. Democrats, it's like a cycle. So we'll be able to get it back.
I am scared. I am actually scared.
I mean, I'm not really worried about it because this is the thing that happens. This is how the cycle goes. You just got to keep on going and moving forward. But I got a few more calls on the line I want to get to. Thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
It was nice catching up with you, ABL.
All righty, man. Appreciate you.
I shall speak to you on sorry. I can't call in on weekdays anymore because I have lectures on Thursdays.
I got you.
Now, I shall talk to you on Sunday.
All right, Sunday your time, Saturday my time. I got you, boss. Thank you for calling, man.
Speak to you then.
All right, peace.
Peace.
All righty, my man Nippin, thank him for the call. and we got a few more on the line. I'm gonna get to. Y'all just hang tight. Let's get to. All right, Skype caller. Who am I speaking to?
Hi. My name is Ivan. I'm a big fan of your show, and I've just been watching your show, and I very appreciate your information being passing out about your politics and your policies that you support. Just want to say I'm a big fan, and just want to ask a question. Myself, I'm a U.S. citizen, but I live in a territory, and I don't have any say, like any way to vote in the national elections for the president. What can I do as a person who can't vote and have a say anything in the changes that are happening in our country?
Well, that's a great question. I would just say be vocal any kind of way you can. Online, or maybe you can write letters to people here. You can talk to people here, like in the mainland U.S. That'd be the best way I would say to go about it. Because there are some people that are not even U.S. citizens that have impact over here. People in UK, they get kind of big, kind of popular, and maybe you could come visit. I'm not really sure how that works or how you'd be able to do it, but I think maybe the best thing would be have a voice online, because that's kind of like the great equalizer. If you can't be here in the States, if you can't be in the the lower 48, wherever you are, you can make an impact from there using your internet connection as an American citizen still, just not in the lower 48. So I think that's probably the best way to go about it.
Thank you. Again, thank you for taking my call. I'm a great fan of your show, and I'm going to continue to support your show by watching it and pass it along to other people so they can watch it as well.
Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
That's a really good question. How can you really impact the country if you can't even vote, but you're in the U.S. still? That's a real good question. I mean, I guess what I say probably be the best thing that I know how to say, but you guys in the chat, you probably know better than me. All right. So let's get to some more. And the phone lines are jumping. Good grief. And I got like just a little bit of time left. I'm going to try to get to some more here, though, y'all. So y'all just hang tight. All right. So let's go. 801, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Your show, and I'm going to continue to
801, hello.
Hello.
Yes, 801. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, man? Dang, first try and I got through. Hey, so I was listening to the other caller, and he was saying that we were going to be messed up for the next 10 years. You know what I mean? And you know what? He's actually right, man. I was thinking we might even be messed up for the next 20 plus years, bro. I mean, if you think about it, Democrats, they're trying to legalize. They're trying to make what is it? Cuba one of the states?
Cuba a state?
Cuba,
no.
Right? They're Puerto Rico. They're trying to make Puerto Rico a state.
Oh.
And then a lot of them, they're like on board with it. And then they're gonna legalize these aliens. I mean, the illegal immigrants. And so they're trying to pretty much set up everything. They're trying to get rid of the electoral votes. If you think about it, man, they're trying to do everything so that they only vote Democrats. You know what I mean? And so they win for the next 20 plus years. Just legalizing these illegal immigrants already will mess us up for a while, because they're going to be taking away a lot of people's jobs.
You there? Caller?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Is that making sense? Like, I think he's on a good point. Like, they are gonna mess it up, man, for the United States in the next 10 plus. I'm looking 10 plus years. The only way is to pretty much preach the word and just keep continuing to tell these wake these people up, man.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna be a constant fight. Now, what they want to do on the Democratic side, they want to demoralize us on our side, so we just stop. So we just say, you know what, we can't do anything. It's over. 20 years. I mean, what's the point in voting, right? Because they already got it in the bag and everything is rigged. That's what they want you to do. So you just fall back and don't even put up a fight. So I like what's happening right now with the whole Wall Street thing, because that right there is a form of fighting back. You attacking the financial industry, and they got to get money from there to be able to win and try to do some things that they're doing out there. All that costs money, and if they can't get them hedge funds to fund them, or if it's going to be kind of an issue with that, and they got to try to fight back against us, then it's going to be kind of a bipartisan thing that can be used to be against them. So this thing is not over. They're trying to do things. They're trying to do things to make it to where it's over and it's done for the next 20 years. All we gotta do is just stay in the fight. So that's not the case. What they want to do will not happen as long as we keep on fighting.
Yeah, I agree with you with the whole. Okay, so with the Gamestop thing, this is my issue with this, is that Democrats, they're trying to make it like they're the ones that are happy about this, but in reality, we all know the truth that these Wall Street guys are funding, you know what I mean, Biden and all these elitists, all these the what do you call that? The faction, pretty much, or what do you call the, like, Biden and all these guys that are like the establishment. We know that the Wall Street are trying to fund these establishments. So I find it funny that you got AOC and all these other Democrats that are like, yeah, heck yeah, but deep down inside, we all know that, you know, they're all on the Democrat side. And it was kind of messed up. It's kind of messed up that AOC, you know, she told Ted Cruz when she's like, hey, Ted Cruz, you know, you almost got me murdered, because if you think about it, that's inciting violence right there. You know, if you're really supportive of somebody and they're saying, hey, this person's trying to get me murdered, if you get the right nut job, he's going to go and try to kill Ted Cruz because he tried to, you know, kill this person that you follow. You know what I mean? And so she's the one that's inciting violence and not bringing unity. All Ted Cruz said was he agreed. And then she went on this whole thing like, hey, you trying to clout chase? Like, really? Are we in high school all over again? Or is this junior high where we're talking about chasing clout and we're talking about trying to get likes for your Twitter followers? Like, come on, AOC. Like, that's the reason why she's a joke, man. Everybody that voted for her, I don't know how she has so many followers. She's a cancer, exactly. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. She's over here talking about Ted Cruz wanting the clout chase. Really? Is that what it's come down to? Man, if I was Ted Cruz, I would have just came out and said, first of all, you know, this Wall Street, they're funding you guys, so I don't know why you're even against them, you know. And second of all, ain't nobody trying. I just said I agree with you, but I don't want to work with you. You go and work with whoever wants to work with you, which I highly doubt any Republican wants to work with her. I mean, he should have came out and said something and just shut her down, man, because all she is just drama. She's just a drama queen. You know what I mean?
No doubt, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey, bro. Thanks, man. Peace out.
All right, now, peace. All right, great call. One more call, then I'm out. 305, you online, I'm speaking to. Oh, 305 got cold feet hung up. I don't know what happened. All right. So I think that's it for tonight. Okay. 305, yeah, I don't know what happened. You got to tighten up. So thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. I got super chats to read, and then I'll wrap it up. You guys have been a great audience tonight. Great show, a lot of good callers. If you enjoyed the show tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. If you're not subscribed, don't know what you're waiting on, go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now. I'd appreciate you if you did that. Let me go ahead and get my headphones off. Let me see. I did see something about T.I. and the sex trafficking, but 30 plus women came out. Wow. I saw something about one person, but 30? I need to look into that and see what's going on. That's crazy. But you know, it's Atlanta, because anything goes on. Atlanta is a human trafficking hub, believe it or not. You know, so it goes down. It definitely goes down. Every other day I get an Amber Alert on my phone talking about, you know, North Georgia, all of that. So I'm not surprised at all. It's unfortunate, but not surprising. I'm going to look into that and see what's going on. Boom, boom, Boomhauer. All right. I got super chats on that. I'm going to read those. And shout out to the mods tonight. You guys do a great job keeping them trolls in check. You guys know who you are, as always. But I'm gonna get to the super chats and then we'll wrap it up. Let me see. Thank you to. They changed it. I can't even really tell where I was at last time. All right. Thank you to Frank who says buy Steve Madden. That's SHOO. Then buy Sears, Kmart, JCPenney, and Woolworths. All right. Hey, we there. Some of these old school stocks. Sears actually is a good stock because they own a lot of subsidiaries. Believe it or not. Thank you to Horsehead who says, we are not as divided as the media will have us believe. I still believe most Americans are sane, reasonable people, don't live on Twitter. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these things that are going on the internet don't necessarily translate once you go out there in the world. You know, it ain't really like that. Matter of fact, I spoke to people in LA and when I was on a Jubilee special and in between takes and all of that, they're just cool people. Anybody really trying to, we got different political point of views. And we were able to discuss that on camera, but once we're off camera, it wasn't even really no problems. Even though on camera, it wasn't no problems. It was all good. Most people ain't really trying to fight you like that. All right. Let me see. Butt versus Windshield says, Andy No has now fled the country for his safety. That is exactly what the liberals want. Attack anyone who doesn't agree and exposes Antifa. Exactly. It's really crazy. Mike says, shout out to ABL. Let's wrap it on up with a nice big boat on top. Love you, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. 64 Pink, thank you for your donation. It says, what is the number for the show? You already know what it is. Butt versus Windshield says, sorry, Johnny, we're poor and you're not that great of an athlete, so you're going to have to go trans for 5 years if you want an education. Facts. Big facts. You can get a whole scholarship by you go from Johnny to Jaleesa and get a whole scholarship at Florida A&M or something crazy like that. And then you're taking spots away from biological women. It's not right. 64 Pink says, buy and hold GameStop, GME. This is not financial advice. I'm just some idiot on the internet. I just love the stunk. There you go. I see. I love it. And I like how this is happening and it's educating people. People, they're able to understand how to go about talking about it. They understand the legal part and how to get money. And I'm never going to hate on anybody getting money legally, period. Thank you to Mike who says, why do you suppose that mainstream media isn't really talking about a top ISIS leader being killed in an airstrike? Did President-elect even know it was going down, or is military calling the shots? That's a really good question. But Biden does not know what's happening. All of what's going on right now is the machine working behind him. I don't think it's the military calling the shots. I think it's the machine that's, deep state, the establishment, whatever you want to call it. It's not Joe Biden. He's not governing. You thought he was going to govern? I told you guys he wasn't going to govern if he was to be elected. Thank you to the White Shadow who says, the straight white male is an employee who comes in with the least amount of liability for his employer. Well, yeah, exactly. But see, the straight white male has the least liability, but also the least amount of woke points. If you're trying to score woke points, then you need to go. It's weird because the employees with the most liability have the most woke points. The ones who got least liability got the least amount of woke points. So it's weird. Ty Nicholas says $1 billion, $1,000 a day for 1,000 years with no interest gain or anything, and you would still have over half your money. Okay, so basically, if you had $1 billion, you could spend $1,000 a day for 1,000 years with no interest, I guess. Butt versus Windshield says, this guy again, please, sir, keep calling in. Thank you to ODV for the keep it up, working out emoji. Thank you to Leo Mazzina who says, you said it earlier, ABL, less athletic scholarships for women. Exactly. Jeffrey says, I would rather give money than call. I'm sure it works out better for both of us. It's all right, man. Thank you. Thank you to Star who says, love the show, ABL. My son loves it too. And it was his 13th birthday yesterday. Can I get a sir for him? Well, you got it right there. Happy birthday, young man. And thank you all for watching the show and your support. Shout out to Hot Computer Smell, which is a funny donation name. Shout out to Jennifer Casey who says, buying silver will be smart. The way the world is going, we will have to turn to bartering and survival techniques. Invest ASAP. Wolfgang Dio says, Biden and Harris are white supremacists. Wolfgang says, disclaimer, just talk, not advice. Anyways, while AMC is going to come back strong, they could increase the number of stocks available. Rick Delection, I'm just reading the name, says, Google changed the balance of power with disinformation and censorship. Google needs to be taxed into submission. I'm with you, man. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to Dagny Taggart. I'm tearing your name up, and I'm sorry, it's not my fault, blame the white man. Dagny says, the most important thing for Joe Biden about being president is the ability to pardon himself for his bribery schemes in China and elsewhere. Wolfgang says, BLM Peace Prize issue, due to how well media had to hit the problems and then gaslighted the opposition as such, they will see the conspiracy is true. Ty Nicholas says, thinking a politician will improve your life equals game over. Thank you to JVA's Edgetown with a thank you emoji. I appreciate you. Oh, and going back to Ty, politicians, from my point of view, can just make the government less in your life. You know, like I want less regulation, less burden on my back. So if you can get in there and take bricks off my back so I can walk, then I'm good. If you try to do a thing to give more bricks on my back, make me walk, I make no sense. That's more regulation, more rules, more. I want less. Give me less. Just give me free. Give us free like Amistad. That's all I want. Anything else, I don't need it. Thank you to Seiji Takahara, who says, looks like alien abduction nuts were not talking about aliens. They were talking about the future. Step right up, bend over. You're getting probed. Yeah, talking about the Chinese. That's crazy. So I did I put a story on my Twitter, on my Facebook, talking about the new way that the Chinese are testing for the virus, and it's going to be through the hind parts, right? They're going to put that same long Q-tip rather than up your nose, up your butt, and they're going to do this in the airport. So if you happen to fly in from somewhere, not really sure where, could be from America, in China, I don't know, but they're gonna have you in the terminal with the chairs and all that. Just bend over. They're gonna pull your pants down and they're gonna test to see if you got the virus right there. Now that's just unnecessary. I can go in the bathroom, get some decency and some privacy, you know, get a little bit of, you know, me time in the back, but right in the airport, drop your drawers, sir. I don't want that. Citizen Shane says, caller was right. In a one-party state, which the left are creating, voting won't matter. You're preaching my sermon about the financial front on fire tonight. Thank you for your donation. I appreciate it. And thank you all for being here. You guys have been the best audience anywhere on the internet. Shout out to the mods. You do a great job. But that'll be it for me. I'll be back live again on Wednesday. And I'll be having, you know, just topics all throughout the week, pre-recorded videos all throughout the week. Oh, follow me on Instagram, instagram.com/Anthony B. Logan. I'll probably be on there tomorrow night doing the Q&A. Just, you know, whatever you want to talk about. It don't got to be political. It can be, you know, about life, you know, money or whatever it is. I'll be on Instagram tomorrow, probably around 8, 9 o'clock Eastern, talking about different things. And it'll be good because I can have you guys on and it'll be the split screen video. So, you know, half the phone, it'll be me. The other half, it'll be you guys talking about whatever you want to talk about. So I'll probably do that again on Instagram. And I got the channel already set up. And I got some video from the last time I did it. I'll put those on that channel. And that's called Ask ABL. The channel's already there. So what I'll do, I'll have that over on the Instagrams, right? And I'll take some clips from the Instagrams and I'll put it on the new channel called Ask ABL. And you guys can subscribe to it right now. I'll put the link right here in the chat box. And let me see if it'll insert. There we go. So that'll be it. So the clips from the Instagrams will go on to Ask ABL. So ask me about whatever, money, you know, I know a little bit about money and budgeting and life and stuff like that on the Instagrams. So that'll be my new foray. The politics, I love them. I always do it, but I want to, you know, do that as well. A lot of you guys say, hey, you give great advice about life and stuff like that. So I'm going to do that on the Ask ABL. That's going to be Instagram exclusive. So follow me there. That'd be great. And that's all I got for y'all tonight. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.